Squad.
We gotta find now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find gotta find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue.
Yo, what is going on? Thank you, Kamoji. Always helping me out to make sure I don't look like an old man who can't use technology. What a day it's been. Holy shit. Epstein files weren't going to be released, and the Epstein files were released. Now it looks like everyone's like, it's so redacted you can't see shit. But apparently there's some stuff that wasn't. Old Trumpy boy looks like he's on the list. Clinton in photos. Not going to be going over that here because I'd rather talk about other things than the pedophiles that rule over our country. So, let's get started. Let me get the game. Oh, there it is. It came up. So today I'm going to be playing Phantom Brigade 2.0. I'll probably play it through the weekend. I've been playing it, so we've already got a save that is ready to go. Do this one. Is this before battle? Yep. So if this is a tactical strategy game, I could say, but it's got a really unique combat system. The first time it came out, I didn't really pick it up because it looked like there wasn't, like, the combat is really detailed, but it didn't look like they really put any work into the world. So it's just kind of like going from point to point without much world building or anything like that. But they've come out with a 2.0 release, so I'm going to give it a try here and play while we watch some videos, talk about some subjects, and, do what we do here. Tactical slop, that's right, we love tactical slop here. Tactical is one of my favorites. One of my favorites, Kamoji. But it's okay, I'm going to start actually going through the list of games that y'all have sent me on Discord. And anyone else who happens to be listening, yeah, if you head into the Discord linked below, we will, there's a little Discord there. What's going on, Egad? Again, thanks, Egad, for the shout out on your stream. Got me a few little extra subscribers. We'll see if we can hang on to them. But yeah, I've got a list of games to go through that Kamoji, Egad, and some of the others have shown out here. So first, before we really get into gaming, we're going to talk about something. I just have to watch this video. If you've been paying attention to anti-wokers, Smash JT is mad about Erica eating popcorn, and it is hilarious. This is like the woman who doesn't give him even a little bit of the time of day, but man, he makes content on her. And after I saw this video come out, like him actually make an entire video on her eating popcorn, yeah, it's popcorn gate. I just had to watch this video. I rarely watch Smash's content, as something topical comes up, because most of it's been like absolute slop here lately. More so than, normal. So we're going to go in and we're going to see what old Smashy Boy had to say about Popcorn Gate and this horrendous act, which I had somebody trying to defend on X that a crime is a crime, and I was like, well, I guess Bill Clinton's son or something like that got trespassed from the place, and he's like, well, a crime is a crime, and I'm like, yeah, but trespassing is an actual crime, and eating popcorn when you're not supposed to is just eating popcorn when you're not supposed to. I think Smash wants the actress to give him a reaction, and he's felting over not getting it. Yeah, that's what I think too. He's been like, I feel like a lot of the gaming industry is starting to stop giving these guys times a day, and all they have for engagement is me and a few others who make fun of them as they fall into nothing. So let's see what Smashy Boy has to say about old Ishii and her horrendous popcorn. Sup, I'm on a family trip to California for Disney World. Nice! I've never been out to California one. I mean, I live in Florida, so I've been over that way once or twice. I'm not much of a Disney fan. Family is too expensive. But glad to have you here. Ignoring the family just for me.
I attended Jeff Keighley's The Game Awards, and it was...
I will say this. Do you notice he just said attended? I heard this earlier. Not invited, attended.
A very fun and eventful experience. I brought my son there. We had a great time. Memories forever. But something that kind of stuck out to me after I made my video the other day about Erika Ishii and what she was doing, just smacking her face with the popcorn over and over again while she was being nominated and up for winning the best whatever actress award or whatever. I was like, wait a second. I wasn't allowed to have popcorn. And then I looked around there. I'm like, no one else had popcorn. When I went there, my son was like, I'm hungry. I want a snack. And there were concession stands outside the auditorium. Like, it's still inside the building. But, you know, like concessions where, like at a baseball game or a basketball game, you just walk outside the seating area and, you know, the concessions area. And we walked out. We went to the concessions. And I got myself a cup of wine. I got him a thing of popcorn. And the guy who was selling it to us was like, hey, just so you know, you can't eat that in the auditorium. I was like, oh, okay. And I got my glass of wine. He's like, and you can't bring that wine in there either. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, you still want it? I was like, yeah, of course. Okay. So I got the wine. I started drinking it like as fast as I could because I'm like, I don't want to bring this.
He just admitted to chugging wine in front of his kid, but whatever. I don't really care too much about that. It's interesting. I will say, I'll admit that there was a part where I was wrong with where, of course, I didn't read the whole thing because, you know, dyslexia, ADHD, whatever you want to blame me on, me jumping the gun. It was my fault that he had bought it in the place. And I do believe him now that there was, you know, they weren't allowed to bring it into the event. There were a lot of, like, I don't know about the drinks or anything like that. There were a lot of drinks throughout there, but it was mostly up in the front of it. So, you know, all the stars and devs and things like that. But let's see what he really has to say about her getting her special privilege as one of the actresses nominated for this award.
In there and, you know, whatever. And I got to the door where the security guard was, and my son was eating the popcorn and I had the wine. And the guy goes, whoa, can't come in here. I was like, yeah, I know. The guy told me. I was just seeing how far we could go to see if I could at least watch some of it while we're eating. He's like, no, sorry, man. Same rules for everyone. You can't go inside the auditorium with food or drinks. I was like, okay. So I was like, I guess I got to pound the wine. He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. And it was like so hard to pound. It was a lot of wine. I was like, and I was like taking sips and I started chatting with him. We were talking about where he's done security before, the celebrities he's met, stuff like that. That was a conversation we were having. My son was pounding the popcorn as fast as he could. And I finished the wine and we threw the popcorn out or put the glass on the table where they take them away. And we went back into the auditorium and sat down and watched the rest of the Game Awards. And I didn't think much of it because I'm like, yeah, that's the rule. Nobody was eating or drinking around us. So, okay, I guess that rules for everyone. Except for Erika Ishii, apparently. I said, important to note that food and drinks inside the auditorium were strictly prohibited. Security stopped me and made me pound my entire cup of wine and toss my son's popcorn at the entrance next to the concession stand before we were allowed to re-enter. And I'm like, again, I don't have any issue with that. That's the rules. That's the rules for everyone. Not mad at the Game Awards. It's the auditorium, by the way. It's not the Game Awards. So I get it. It's fine. Whatever.
Well,
I said this.
It was definitely probably the Game Awards because it was a formal event, right? But like, he's really diving on this home that like, oh, it's the same thing for everybody, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you are specifically picking out Erica because you have a beef with her. You know, it's not, this isn't like some, you know, if it was anybody else in that theater, he wouldn't even be saying a word about it. It would just be the same thing that we always have to deal with. Those in the positions that are more privileged tend to be able to get away with, you know, stuff like that. And that's, you know, in this case, it's like the lightest of things. You know, we got pedophiles in office, but the popcorn
isn't meant to be a slight against the security guard. The dude was legit cool as fuck. Was chatting with him about the events he's worked in the past and famous people he's met with over the years. My point is that he felt bad, but even told me same rules apply for everyone in there.
Yeah, that's a good possibility. I mean, she might know who he is, but again, I don't feel like she even if she does, why should she care what some, you know, failing YouTuber has to say about her? You know, she's enjoyed the fruits of her labor. The game she's in is doing well. Her career seems to be growing. You know, it just doesn't match up. Like, who cares?
Grum said, some said it was valid emotional support popcorn, and I'm dying laughing. And I said, what's next? An emotional support trophy? Andrew LB says, doesn't the bucket have the Game Awards logo on it? I know you can't bring food in, but were there 0 concessions available at the show? I said, talking about the bucket, it's from Sucker Punch, not the show. And yes, there were concessions outside the auditorium in the entry area inside the building, but food and drinks were strictly prohibited. And then this guy,
like, you don't get much pettier than being like, she got to eat popcorn and my son didn't. Oh, you could be talking about anything in gaming right now, literally anything in gaming, and nope, popcorn. That's the hot topic we're talking about right now. Oh man, it's funny.
Outside drinks, you numpty. I think he thought like you can't bring them in from like restaurants across the street or something. And I'm like, I was literally in attendance. The fuck you on about? It goes, so then you would know you should. So then you should. Oh God, you already know what you're getting into with this guy. So then you should know you could buy food and drinks at the concession. Right. So why are you being a disingenuous POS if you were there? Smash. I said, my brother in Christ, please reread what I wrote. Important to note that food and drinks inside the auditorium were strictly prohibited. And then post a screenshot of the rules. And I'm like, correct? Is English not your first language, or are you just highly regarded? Laugh my ass off.
Why can't he? All right, just say it. Just say it. You waiting for my pig man? You waiting for me, pig man? Yes, I am. Well, we're watching this first, and if you want to jump on and talk about Smash, you can jump on, Simon. 100%. He tried to leave and rejoin the venue and got denied because no outside food. I mean, it very well may be that he, did buy it. Sure, maybe. I don't know. At this point, there are venues that do similar things, which is bullshit, right? I want to talk about pick-me's. We're going to get to the pick-me's, all right? We're going to get to the pick-me's. I have to talk about popcorn first. But notice he picked this guy out, right? This guy got, I guess, quite a few likes. He seemed to be ratioing Smash. So even when you barely, speak, or you barely post anything comprehensible, you ratio Smash JT. It's nice of him to show this on screen.
Comprehension skills. Outside food is not allowed in the auditorium. Food purchased there, as long as it is not glass, is prohibited. Bro, they didn't sell glass. Everything was in plastic cups, and you couldn't bring it in there. That's before you even get into the fact that Talon do jokes, reactions like this all the time with permission. I said, here, let me break this down for you as best I can.
My question is, why do they care about it? I thought they thought the Game Awards were irrelevant. It's always the same with them making a big deal even when thinking the Game Awards are irrelevant. Well, that's just it. They don't it's another avenue for them trying to do woke. I mean, look at this whole idea that now if you're nominated at the Game Awards for anything, that you're somehow, losing and failing, right? It's like, it doesn't make sense. I could agree that some of the Game Awards stuff is bullshit. I absolutely can agree with that. I mean, it's pretty it's pretty terrible. So we're gonna go right there. But what do you even do? The Game Awards is relevant now that Yotai didn't win anything in the most prestigious award show. Yeah, exactly. It suddenly matters. And of course, I'm sure they're going to bring up Yotai at the real Game Awards when that happens. So we'll have more to look at when that happens. What, in January?
Food from outside the auditorium, read concessions, is not allowed inside the auditorium where the show was.
Okay.
Hope that helps. Yeah, I get it. We are supposed to take your Karen-ass word for it that you were
This guy is like, I can see why he chose him.
Into the auditorium, and are very upset that Erica was able to do a joke reaction with her GOI bucket. Laughing my ass off. Again, I am so impressed with this guy. I said, no, you idiot. I'm explaining the rules for the show. Anyways, have a good life. So clearly, people with Smash derangement syndrome thinking that
He's using Smash derangement syndrome now. Oh, Jesus, you can't make this up. Has Craig even confirmed that he's doing his lame ass The Real Game Awards this year? Yeah, it's supposed to be at like a restaurant or something like that. One of those like bar and grill places.
I'm like, I don't know, honing in on Erika Ishii or harassing her, targeting her, making videos about her. I'm acknowledging a situation that I found quite curious.
Okay, let's see
The
here.
entire auditorium did not allow popcorn, food, or drinks. Like it was clearly stated.
No!
The guy told me when he sold it to me. I still tried to get in there because I just spent a lot of money on it and I wanted to enjoy it, but they stopped me when I tried to go in. I was like, okay, they're actually serious about this. I can't bring it in there. Understood. I'm not going to try to fight it or make a scene, obviously. It's just those are the rules. I get it. Makes sense. And here's Tebow. He says, what I find sad is that Erika Ishii planned this whole stunt knowing she didn't have a chance in hell at winning the Game Awards. She snuck in.
And here we go. I've got to read the stuff that says that she's a failure because she didn't win the award. She was only nominated. The whole derangement syndrome has been milked so much. Yeah, I agree. It's just dead now. It's it's nuts. Derangement syndrome has really lost its oomph ever now that everyone appears to suffer from some derangement syndrome these days. Yeah, it's like everything else. Once it hits the internet and the mainstream, it tends to, or once it hits the mainstream and the internet, it gets used by everybody. And we end up with this right here.
Food and flaunted it, chewing her popcorn with her mouth hanging open like a toddler. The entitlement is strong with Miss Antifa, which again goes in line with Antifa breaking rules, not following directions, or thinking
no, we have to follow the rules. Oh my God, really? Really? The video isn't up. Oh, when did it go down? There we go. I mean, we don't really have to see him, but yeah, it helps. I'm Antifa, so is my wife. They love bringing this up. This just reminds me of like the days when people would bring up when you said the N-word 8 years ago or something like that online and want to completely destroy you for it. It's just sad. Oh, Smash, so uncreative he has to copy the derangement syndrome line. True. I mean, he's making a popcorn video. Look how creative he is. And it's mostly him reading his own fucking tweets.
more important than everyone else. This is the food and drinks rules and regulations. Guests may not bring in outside food or beverage.
He's reading the fucking rules. Oh, he was a hall monitor at the fucking Game Awards. Someone get this retard a little sash that has, you know, Game Awards popcorn police. Yeah, same argument, but different team. You're right. This is just the peak of sadness. It's
items into the venue during events. The only exception is unopened plastic water bottles, 1 liter or smaller, on per guest. Which, by the way, even during this event, they were saying we couldn't even do that. But okay. Glass bottles or metal cans are strictly prohibited. They weren't selling those. If they mean guests, must dispose of unauthorized items prior to entrance into the venue. Yeah. So fair. These all make sense. But for some reason, Erika Ishii brought her popcorn bucket onto the red carpet and then proceeds to sit down, open it up, and just pound her face with it.
How dare she?
Now, again, people might look at this and be like, it's not really that big of a deal. It's not, but at the same time,
oh wow, really, Smash? It's not
a much bigger situation of the.
Please tell me about the bigger situation.
Privilege that she thinks she has, that she's better than everyone.
Oh no, she has Asian privilege.
To her, for some reason, she can just do whatever the hell she wants.
I hate to tell you, but yeah. Most of these people who are actors and movie stars and big name people, yeah, they could pretty much do what they want at these fucking events. Who's going to tell her no at this event when she's up for the award? Too much happening sauce at this nothing burger. Like, yeah, I get it. There's an agreement I can have here with Smash, right? Yeah, here's the thing. GF would have done something about it. Right. I mean, it's yes, everyone, like, if they weren't letting anyone bring drinks in there, the entire front row, including several people in Claire Obscures from Sandfall, all had drinks, right? They were usually waters or something like that, but he had to dump out his wine, but they got to keep their water. It's the same thing. Welcome to the industry. Is it wrong? Sure. You want everything to be equal, but that's just not how it works. He is seriously pulling the check your privilege card. Yes, Simon, he is. In the big 2025.
Genuinely, like the rules for me, not for thee. I genuinely wonder about the future of her career in the gaming industry. And honestly, if she's ever going to get a gig
He worries about her career. What are you talking about? Oh God. Oh. What are you talking about? You're worrying about her career. Oh. I think she'll be fine. She's like, Ghosts of Yotai, as much as y'all hate it, succeeded and was a good game that made money. It made the top 10 list it made a top 10 list, we'll say, of games revenue on consoles, and it was only on one console and not even the full year. Like, get out of here with this bullshit.
Ever again. I know that sounds ridiculous just from this, but it's kind of shown who she is, the character, and everything she stands for. This is a very dangerous person to bring into your organization.
How so?
That is
She's very dangerous. Her voice acting is going to make you a lot of money.
catalyst for controversy, we'll say. But as far as the Game Awards are concerned, Jeff Keighley says, thank you for making 2025 the most watched Game Awards ever. Viewership up 11% year over year, 171 million plus global live streams of the show. Conversation on X up 12%. 23,000 co-streams on Twitch and YouTube up.
He told me the popcorn was $7 and the wine was $12. I do think it's odd they sold it, but won't let it inside, at least from the back seating areas he was at. It was not shown on camera. Yeah, I agree. Like, they absolutely should have. I do think they should have let them do it. I mean, if you're going to sell it, let the people eat in there. I get the front rows, right? Because that's where all the camera shots are going to be, in the front rows where the stars are, where the people who are the big names, the big wigs. But like, yeah, Joe Schmo in the back can't smash his kid have a little popcorn.
50%. It was a massive showing, breaking all kinds of records. Variety 2025 Game Awards broke viewership records with an estimated 171 million global live streams of the broadcast, up 11% over previous record-setting 2024 tally with 154 million live streams. That's legit. That's impressive.
Wow! Suddenly he's like talking up the Game Awards. Now it's relevant.
And I think, honestly, as I said before, from my attendance in person, witnessing the direction that Jeff Keighley's The Game Awards show is going right now, it feels like it's back on track, but it could just as easily get knocked.
Sucking up
Off track in the future if he starts pandering to the ideologues, which happened in the past, falling into that trap. The people that want to push their agendas into gaming. And there was a little bit of that at the show, but nothing compared to recent years. And I think there's a very bright future for this.
Craig, how could you do this to me, Smash?
But if it doesn't, people are going to be on it and dismissing it immediately for what it is at the end of the day. There is a level of acknowledgement from the greater gaming community on the whole, but 154 million live streams is insane. And the amount of people that have been playing Expedition 33 since the Game Awards, let me bring this up. This should tell you all you need to know about, yeah, sure, it's a Game Awards show and it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme, blah, blah, blah. But it does for the developers. This is IGN says, everyone's playing Clair Obscur Expedition 33 following Game Awards.
Jesus.
In wake of an incredible run at the Game Awards, Clair Obscur won record-breaking 9 awards, announced free DLC. A whole lot of people are purchasing, downloading the game right now. Observation comes from multiple data sources, which are pointing to the sudden rush of players across the platform. On Steam, the game reached a peak over the weekend of 56.
He's not talking about popcorn anymore. I don't give a shit. Let's see what they say at the end. We only care about the popcorn. Give me some more popcorn.
A lot of trouble to go through for a cringe bit. Yeah,
A lot of trouble.
I don't think it was a bit. Why would it be a bit? There was no bit involved. It was just her ramming popcorn into her face the whole time. There was no joke.
Smash is great with jokes. So that, my friends, this is a video we may watch eventually. I like BreadTube. One of my first videos was making fun of the fall of BreadTube by playing the Arms of an Angel song while BreadTubers complained of. It was a parody of the Arms of an Angel song with BreadTubers complaining about not making money anymore and begging. I still think it's a double-edged sword for Expedition 33 winning a lot. It's The Last of Us 2 all over again. I agree. There's this thing, like, after watching EGAD's video, I don't think they're an indie studio anymore. They're somewhere between indie and AAA. It's like what I've been calling it Nepo indie, where they have everything set up for them to succeed, right? When it was founded, they were instantly given, all of this hype and this money and this and what they needed to make the game, right? It's crazy how much he spurged out over cheap popcorn. It's hilarious how much he spurged over cheap popcorn. Simon, are you ready? Are you ready to watch Noah's video, OtterlyNoah? I don't know too much about OtterlyNoah. I have watched like a few of his videos on stream. And... Jesus Christ. So, we've interacted a little bit online, just started following each other, but I like this video. I wanted to learn about the pick-me's, see what I agree with, what I disagree with. This is not it.
The quote you see on screen is taken.
I said that's not that
Sydney
time.
Sweeney.
Woo, there she is. There she is. Let me go in here. Simon, you in the waiting room? No, you're not. Where are you? Get in the damn waiting room, son. Or are you still at work and I need to watch something else? Expedition 33 is a good game, but it's not as revolutionary as people make it out to be. I agree. Like, I don't want to shit on Expedition 33. It is very much a good game. All right, we'll watch something else then, Simon. It's very much a good game. I like it being a fan of the JRPGs as a kid, and it's one that I want to complete like all the other games that I want to complete. But I enjoyed playing it while I played it. That's not where I think the problem is. Like, yeah, it's a good game, but it's also taking this it's trying to use this idea of being an indie. That's the fucking waiting room, sir. What? Can you hold out until 11:50? Yeah, we can find some stuff to do. Before we go on to the next one, I'll go ahead and did I jump into the waiting room? Is that what happened? No, I'm in my live stream room. Get out of here, Damaged. Get out of here. Let's play this for a minute, and then we'll move on to the what's the other video we got? Craftian. This is another one EGAD sent me on. There's no such thing as gaming journalism. If my hours are shit. I mean, you can't help that you're Canadian, Simon. It's okay. You just can't help it. It's called that when Simon is in there. The fucking waiting room. Okay. I get it now. I get it. We will watch. Did I mute this or something? What's going on here? We'll watch this one. EGAD sent me this video. It's about 38 minutes long. That should give Simon some time. And we may find something else. There's no such things as gaming journalism. I feel like EGAD is trying to pull me into a into a conspiracy hub, but some of his stuff makes a lot of good points. This is by Craftian. Most of the videos I have linked down to the person doing it. I want to start doing that. Go give him a like, go give him a view, go enjoy Smash's video one more time. But let's watch this one and see where it goes. Or we won't, because it's not making any noise. There we go.
An edited collection of investigative journalism that has stood the...
There we go.
The quote you see on screen is taken from the back of Tell Me No Lies, an edited collection of investigative journalism that has stood the test of time. This old, well-worn...
Too much, yes. Please take your Smash JT in small doses. Otherwise, you could overdose and become clinically retarded.
Book is something I've kept returning to over the years since I first borrowed it from my dad as a teenager, because it captures the essence of real, authentic journalism, the great legal and often personal risks in holding the corrupt to account, and the timeless importance of truth and justice. Some of the works include The Atomic Plague by Wilfred Burchett, the first correspondent to enter Hiroshima following the bomb. From the opening line, "I write this as a warning to the world," he exposed the deadly realities of radiation that, had it not slipped past American censors, the world wouldn't have known. There is Martha Gellhorn's first-hand account of the liberation of Dachau, Seymour Hersh's expose on the My Lai massacre in Vietnam, John Pelger's Year Zero in Cambodia following the fall of the Khmer Rouge, as the country was abandoned by the United Nations because it just so happened to be liberated by the communist Vietnamese, and the West continued to recognize Pol Pot as the rightful leader for more than a decade after. Robert Fisk's haunting account of the Sabra and Shatila massacres, where hundreds of the elderly, women and children were brutally murdered by Christian and Israeli militia, and Paul Foot's tireless reporting on the Great Lockerbie whitewash. Whether you or I view these articles as politically advantageous or validating is besides the point, but when anyone talks about journalism, this is what really matters. There is a timeless quality
True. I mean, there's definitely something that, people talk about, like the Walter Cronkite days, where you give your opinion, or give their opinion, give their facts, the other side's facts, and let people think for themselves. But yeah, journalism used to be this thing where you went after those, you broke stories that mattered. Obviously, he's bringing up a lot of very good cases for that. So we'll see what it's become, because right now it's pretty much completely controlled by the government.
Every single one of these articles, and the people behind them were so incredibly brave. They put themselves, their own health, their very life at risk. This is why I feel such great personal disgust at anyone who claims to be a games journalist or operating with any kind of journalistic integrity.
Here we go.
Because the people we're about to cover are the very antithesis of investigative reporters, to the point they don't even deserve to be in the same room. The following video is my best attempt to explain the deep, morally and ethically corrupt grift that passes as games media today, and expose the many so-called journalists that use it as a springboard for cynical self-interest. From Kotaku to IGN to the Mary Sue to the Daily Wire to e-girls begging for attention, what passes for journalism in the age of social media is a shallow imitation of the word, and why I had...
This is so true on every level of it, right? No one really does any research anymore on anything. It's just, this is what was said. Here's what's out there. I think I'm going to like this.
And always will refer to it as media. This is by no means comprehensive, because I couldn't possibly cite every single example, go down every little rabbit hole without the video being 1,000,000 hours long. To preempt some very likely and lazy criticism, I am not and have never claimed to be a journalist myself either. I also will not be going into Gamergate specifically, other than possibly touching on it briefly.
Good video. The pure fallouts.
where relevant, because there are countless documentaries about that by now, and I don't feel like trying to untangle it. Everything that could have possibly been said about that whole thing already has. Suffice to say, whatever the movement became, the behavior of certain people, and whichever side was right or won, Zoe Quinn did sleep with Nathan Grayson. They were at least friends for years before this, where he failed to disclose the conflict of interest in reporting on her games, and a then completely unknown Anita Sarkeesian used this period as a platform to make a lot of money through Kickstarter. These are undisputed facts.
These are
I
things
will
that
also
happened.
not be delving into review culture per se, or particularly infamous examples, unless it's directly relevant. This is because it's difficult to judge subjective opinion about whether someone really likes a game or not. Ultimately, everyone's opinion is worth as much as anyone else's because of the whole psychological effect of weighting with arbitrary numbers, but like I said, I'm not getting into that. Cases where reviews are cited, this will be less about the game itself or a particular score, and more to highlight certain behaviors or industry practices. There is no such thing as games journalism. Now, it's time to show you why. Last year, Robert Bertie Purchase, an associate editor for Eurogamer, gave a 5-star review to Dragon Age the Veilguard. IGN similarly gave us a 9 out of 10, and various...
That was such a, like... no one could argue that any of these games journalism scores were right, especially when good games, like games that the gamers like touted. I can't remember which one came out the wrong time around this time, got a lower score than Veilguard.
This outlets and sponsored YouTubers described it as a, quote, return to form. In concluding the review, Purchase described it as the following: epic in a way I think will set a high bar not only for BioWare in years to come, but for role-playing games in general. This is among the very best of them. It is the strongest and loudest answer BioWare could have mustered for the people still doubting whether they could do it. The answer is yes, emphatically. The Veilguard is spectacular. BioWare is back. Note the disclaimer at the bottom that a review copy was provided by EA prior to release. On October 31st, 2025, Purchase returned to this initial review and has now retracted his emphatic praise of the game. In the article, he explains, including an interview with a colleague from a separate website called VG247, that he is not happy with giving it 5 stars at the time, and does not, in fact, think it is BioWare's best game. It is interesting he has come to this conclusion long after the review cycle has passed, and the access journalism he was afforded through the free copy provided by EA was used to boost sales even slightly, but he recognizes that he made a mistake. Another thing to note is that last year, IGN bought out Eurogamer, Game Informer, GamesIndustry.biz, VG247, and more. This is worth keeping in mind for what we'll cover next. In his review of Alien Isolation in 2014, Ryan McCaffrey, an editor for IGN, gave the game a 5.9 out of 10, citing that the game was too long, the AI was frustrating, and the fear factor was lost as a result. Note that the article contains promotional footage for the game about how scary it was, which features then IGN staff member Naomi Kyle. On the game's 10th anniversary in October 2024, just before a sequel was announced by developer Creative Assembly, another reviewer at IGN, Matthew Perslow, re-evaluated the game and that it was, in fact, brilliant, far more than his contemporaries evaluated it at the time.
You know, I've called out, like, what is the name? Tech for Gamers, the Pakistani one that Endymion likes to use all the time, for, like, making an article that's so woke, Endymion will use it to say that games journalism is still woke and all of this, and then turn around and say that Ghost of Yotai is slop, just so Endymion can use that same news company to say that Ghost of Yotai flopped as proof. But I mean, it's clear that in the industry, it just changes day to day. And since no one really pays attention to it, you get this stuff where it's like, oh, it was bad here, but now it's good, this and that, and this and other.
Fine. In his article, he states, understandably, there's a lot of upset among those fans over its disappointing sales that led to a lack of a sequel. Some like to blame IGN for that, but we certainly don't have anywhere near that much power. The reality likely is that Alien Isolation, being an incredibly challenging stealth horror game, a niche with a limited audience. The video of McCaffrey's original review on YouTube has over 1.4 million views. I could continue citing examples. Senior staff members at The Gamer and Game Informer praising Mass Effect Andromeda as better than people remember it was at release. The infamous firing of Jeff Gersman by GameSpot following a negative review score of 6 out of 10 for Kanan Lynch. GameSpot believed the 6.0 was unfair, the review's audio was deemed inferior due to microphone quality, there was limited footage that did not accurately represent the game, and ultimately refused to elaborate on the exact reasons for his dismissal. GameSpot's website had been covered with ads for the game at the time, and Gersman himself confirmed that
There was one game industry here recently too that was they were arguing like what did they write that really bad article on that they got a bunch of shit for? Oh, what was it? And it got so much backlash that the CEO had to come out and be like, well, people have different opinions on games, so he didn't like it, and it's this and that. It was the one on Arc Raiders. They wrote the hit piece on Arc Raiders because of AI, and then they were trying to, well, his opinion doesn't represent us. Well, he's your writer, right? He's your journalist. So yeah, he does represent you, and his opinions can be bad. Like, you could look at that article and just go, you talk about all of the bad AI, then you say it's a good game, but you gave it such a low score. Like, what's your theory here? If your thought process is good, yeah, I'll print the article no matter how bad you make Arc Raiders look. But if the thought process is just AI bad, but everything about the game good, is it really this low a score? Especially when the guy said he didn't take that into account.
the reason for his firing in interviews years later. Kotaku's initial praising of Anthem, and then again, and then panning us at release, and then mourning the servers getting shut down. Many outlets, such as IGN and Polygon, heavily criticising No Man's Sky at release in 2016, and now hailing it as significantly better. The list goes on. Admittedly, this section of the video is probably the weakest and the part I care the least about. The point, which should hopefully be obvious by now, is twofold. First of all, games are subject to hype and then later re-evaluated once the review period has passed, or
True.
to further highlight this contradiction, panned at release, and then re-evaluated later on as better than they were. A double dip, if you will. First of all, hype is worth a whole discussion just on its own. Given that these outlets operate solely through ad revenue, either through videos on YouTube or written articles on their respective websites, whatever editorial process is involved, these companies are the same as any other. They need to make money. Even the most well-intentioned editor in the world will not be employed for long if they can't drum up headlines that people want to hear. This is what gets attention. It's human nature, and more often than not, driven by negativity. Let me pose a question to you. By your initial reaction, what would you like to hear about more? A brief 200-word article about some new portraits an indie developer has just added in an update, or a 1,000-word article detailing abusive practices in AAA studios? If you're excited for an upcoming release, what would you like to hear about more? A middling 7 out of 10 shrug of a review, or a glowing recommendation that this is one of the best games of the year and a return to form? If the game's really bad, you don't just get the review, you get the podcast, the breakdown, minute-to-minute reporting of what's happening behind the scenes, welcoming or condemnation of the tiniest patch. Major releases are the lifeblood of games media, and a gift that keeps on giving. The problem isn't with individual people changing their opinion. opinion. As mentioned earlier, you're welcome to change your mind. We all do it. The problem is that these outlets evidently go where the ad revenue and the money is. This can be extremely damaging to a game's reputation, such as in the case of Alien Isolation, or it can highlight a lack of integrity that these outlets don't have any real stance to begin with. Was Dragon Age the Veilguard a return to form, or the worst thing ever? Was Jeff Gerstmann in breach of his...
Well, it's like, it's all the same article over and over and over again. Like, is there actually any writing that is authentic, or is it just copy and paste the whole time? Oof, I missed one. I'm going to lose that.
His role as an editor and reviewer to be so dishonest about a game whose publisher had been pumping money into GameSpot's website? Review culture is a can of worms that I won't get into here. Frankly, I don't care. Most people just want media to tell them what they want to hear, rather than genuine critique. But this is the tip of the iceberg. Whether or not you like a game, movie, album, book, or 2-in-1 Segway Army knife off Amazon, these are purely subjective. While potentially a byproduct of more insidious practices, hype and reviews is just the start, because it only gets worse from here. Before we continue, let's briefly touch on the whole give and take of review copies, pre-release features, and the nature of the media cycle. There is no rule written down anywhere that any developer or publisher has to provide a key to anyone. This is an assumption, a given, that primarily big AAA releases will at least provide codes to major outlets such as PC Gamer, IGN, or GameSpot to either help boost pre-orders just before release or incentivize players to check the game out. Similarly, there is nothing set in stone around embargoes. It is not unheard of for keys to be given out as usual, but the publisher requires that only footage early on in a game, or what they provided, is shown to avoid spoilers. Cyberpunk 2077 infamously provided console B-roll that was not representative of the final product.
Reviewers were told that no console code would be made available and that we were only allowed to review the game on PC.
It is also not uncommon for embargoes to go right up until the day of release, such as in the case of the Callisto Protocol. So why does any of this matter? The give and take, as mentioned earlier, relies on a mutually beneficial exchange. In providing keys to media outlets or YouTubers, the publisher is relying on word of mouth and banking on a positive reception to build up hype and, therefore, sales. For the reviewer, posting their thoughts in written or video format will get eyes on their page and thus ad revenue, subscribers, followers, and so forth. Simply put, both sides are in it for profit. The opinion or score itself is secondary. Publishers are companies and exist to make money. It's not really relevant to this video whether they're consumer friendly or not.
It's an interesting thing too, because it technically, by TOS and all those other things like Let's Plays and stuff like that, can fall under copyright, right? They can absolutely take them down. Even if you're, reviewing the game while playing. And it's what made it beneficial was they realized that letting these people play would get other people to buy the game. But yeah, it's, I mean, most of this is pretty much what I thought it would be. It's when you're giving somebody something, even on a psychological level, there's the idea of if you gift someone something, that there's an expectation from them to give you something back.
Another infamous example was ZeniMax refusing review codes of Starfield to most UK outlets as a petty act of revenge after the Competition and Markets Authority, or CMA for short, raised concerns around Bethesda's parent company, Microsoft, during their acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Instead, let's come back to the reviewer and media side of things, and how they benefit from giving particular results. IGN First is an exclusive hands-on series where the developer provides gameplay footage or previews that no other outlet has access to. This is quite literally access journalism, given that IGN is the most popular and farthest reaching games media outlet in the world, with their YouTube channel standing at nearly 20 million subscribers. Every single one of them then is a potential buyer. As one example of how IGN First works, earlier this year, Ryan McCaffrey detailed his thoughts after a 3-hour preview with Mafia: The Old Country. His thoughts were overwhelmingly positive, citing that he didn't mind its shorter length, and the gameplay and story were engaging. He also described it as, quote, back to a Mafia 1 and 2 vibe again, end quote. This was following 9 minutes of gameplay that had been provided to IGN exclusively the previous week. In the final review, not by McCaffrey, but another staff member, Luke Riley, IGN gave the game an 8 out of 10, saying that while it doesn't reinvent the wheel in terms of its third-person gameplay, the vocal performance and story sold the experience.
Hey, what's going on, Kaz? How you doing? How you doing? We're learning about games journalism right now, and eventually, when Simon decides to quit his job like a man, we'll watch something about Pick-me's.
Despite often being criticized for its safe, fence-sitting review scores, IGN has, on occasion, given major game releases significant criticism. The new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was a 4 out of 10, and MW2 was 6 out of 10. However, these are often the exception, and, critically, games with player bases that are large enough to ride out the wave of bad reviews through sheer numbers alone. For another example, let's take a look at The Outer Worlds 2. Once again echoing Obsidian and Microsoft's own narrative that the game had anything to do with Fallout New Vegas, this IGN first features interviews with creative director and Fallout co-creator Leonard Boyarsky. The following day, the same interviewer, Michael Hyam,
What are you and Simon planning to talk about? Pick-me's. We got a video from OtterlyNoah about anti-woke Pick-me's. There she is right there. So we're going to learn. I mean, you know, she is the poster child for the anti-woke now. So, and there's some other women in here, Melanie Mack. I may have some disagreements on this one, so we'll see what comes up with it.
posted his thoughts after getting another exclusive IGN first. In this video, he described it as seeing that vision of a, quote, second coming of New Vegas fully realized. In the final review by Dan Stapleton in late October, the game was widely praised for its improvements over the original, and although citing that it was a slog at times, concluded with an 8 out of 10, and, quote, that much closer to the Fallout New Vegas successor we thought it would be, end quote. Interesting, isn't it, that this is repeatedly mentioned, just as it was in the original game's marketing. Not only that, IGN has repeatedly mentioned it throughout their own videos, particularly the exclusive IGN First interviews and gameplay. Can you think of a single other game that has been repeatedly compared to an entirely different series made 15 years ago by a team of developers that have almost all since left the studio, and that this would continue into its sequel as well? By now you should be starting to get the picture. Perhaps you think I'm being harsh or singling out IGN in particular, but the reality is most of these outlets do it. I'm sure there are writers in every one of these that want to go to town on trash or praise something that might be widely hated, but if they want those exclusive interviews, the press previews behind closed doors, review codes, and so on, they cannot take the financial risk of rocking the boat.
Yeah, it basically comes down to all the powers in the developer's hands, right? They get to decide who has their games. They get to decide, who gets to review them ahead of time. And if you miss out, because, you have to be the first to it, then, you're just stuck out. I just left work. We'll let you know when I get in. Yeah, no problem, Simon. There is no, you have to do it, right? You're already working for a major news outlet. So your option is to keep your job and keep getting paid, or flow with the program.
Both. More to the point, whether consciously or not, free exclusive access or codes will predispose anyone to a more favorable review. It's human nature. This section was only meant to be brief, and now it's gone on longer than I'd planned, but hopefully the point is clear. Because games media relies heavily on ad revenue, they cannot take risks that would mean missing out on review codes or exclusives that will bring in more attention and foster goodwill with the very companies that provide these things. Anyway, I'm sick of talking about review codes now, and I'm sure you are too. Let's take a look at the general landscape instead. In June 2020, Jonathan Dornbrush, then editor at IGN, gave The Last of Us Part 2 a 10 out of 10, or masterpiece, rating, according to the outlet's review system, citing it as, quote, the culmination of everything that's made Naughty Dog's blockbuster storytelling so memorable since the original Uncharted on the PlayStation 3, one of the generation's best games, end quote. 2 years later, he revealed that he'd been hired by Sony and now works as the editorial content manager for Naughty Dog. He now writes articles for the same studio.
Yeah, this just goes to show it's like the business is so enclosed with each other that, be nice to them, they'll give you a job, you'll make, more money.
He gave a 10 out of 10 rating for their previous game. I could stop there, but let's continue. In June 2014, Kevin Van Ord gave Divinity Original Sin a 9 out of 10 in his review for GameSpot, and also awarded it the Game of the Month for July that year. A year later, he revealed that he was leaving GameSpot after he'd been hired on as a writer for MMO developer Treon Worlds. This venture apparently didn't last, and in May 2016, he was hired on as a writer for Larian Studios, where he has worked at since, including their major releases Divinity Original Sin 2 and Baldur's Gate 3, of which GameSpot awarded both games a 10 out of 10 rating. Alana Pierce is a US-based Australian games media personality and streamer.
Deserved it, right? I'll say Baldur's Gate at least deserved it, but yeah, I get what he's saying, right?
At IGN, Rooster Teeth, Funhouse, and Inside Gaming until October 2020. The following month, she announced she'd joined Sony Santa Monica Studios. Despite claiming that she has consulted on 3 games and written for 2 prior to this, I haven't been able to find any evidence of any previous writing credits, and these are the only ones publicly listed on IMDb after starting her work at Sony Santa Monica. Wikipedia links to this same article, so at the time of writing this, her claims to prior work is essentially hearsay. This is in addition to her voice acting credits in Gears of War 5, After Party, and Cyberpunk 2077 following her departure from IGN. There are no acting credits listed prior to this. Like her previous claims to consulting and/or writing for 5 games, which there is currently no evidence of, she also claimed to have worked as a writer during her 4 years at the studio.
Hi, I'm Alana, and I'm a video game writer at Sony Santa Monica.
I went through this in the last video, but let's walk through the evidence once again. Alana claims that she was a writer at Sony Santa Monica, but not specifically on God of War Ragnarok.
I was hired as a writer at Sony, and that was what I did while I was there. I was a writer. There are certain things I can't say due to my very specific contract, but here is what I will say. I never claimed anywhere to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok. I claimed to be a writer at Santa Monica Studio, but they are accusing me of specifically lying about being a writer on God of War Ragnarok. Again, a thing I never said.
In her podcast, Play, Watch, Listen, number 119, specifically reviewing God of War Ragnarok's review scores, let's just ignore the staggering conflict of interest in just that alone. She says the following.
So I always feel like I have to give the context. I didn't work on this game a ton. I
was just about to say it, but then I stopped myself. I was going to ask.
Let's chuck some basic noise removal on it in Audacity and have another listen.
I was just about to say it, but then I stopped myself.
I was going to ask myself.
Maybe that seems disingenuous or taking her out of context, so now let's play the rest of the clip.
I am allowed to say that I worked on the accessibility stuff, which I did. Like, I pitched and helped iterate some literal features of the game, some gameplay mechanics.
Did you watch? No, I haven't watched Noah's video yet. We're going to get to it here. Simon's going to come on with me. Once we finish up this video, then we're going to pull that one out, and me and Simon are going to watch it together.
For writing, I think I'm allowed to say.
There's at least
I'm not allowed to say. I'm not allowed to say what. I can say. I wrote some supportive content, and I'm not allowed to say what.
Quote, for writing, I'm not allowed to say what, end quote. If she wasn't a writer, why would she be saying this?
I can say, I wrote some supportive content, and I'm not allowed to say what. I never claimed anywhere to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok.
I mean, she's not known for having one of the best takes, 2 honesty around the gaming. Like, I don't know a lot of people who go to her for their gaming takes, right?
It's not listed in the credits as a game writer. This has been confirmed by another one of the actual game's writers, and she is rather listed as an accessibility consultant. She responded to this saying that she never claimed to be a writer, which has already been disproven, and then seems to try and imply that accessibility is the same as writing and design. Let's go back to her initial clip and her tweet here.
I never claimed anywhere to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok. I claim to be a writer at Santa Monica Studio, but they are accusing me.
This is just about games journalism in general. Like, he's already shown how IGN and some of these other companies will write a scathing review for some games and then later change it to a positive review, or how they'll write positive reviews for games. Like, there's examples that have come out recently with Veilguard is a good example, where everyone gave it glowing reviews even though it was a bomb of a game, right?
I'm specifically lying about being a writer on God of War Ragnarok. Again, a thing I never said.
Now let's play the audio again.
I have written on it.
Oh dear. There is irrefutable evidence straight from her own mouth of claiming to be a writer, which she then edited out from the same debunk video you just saw, and then subsequent tweets of pretending to be a writer when she was actually just an accessibility consultant. There is nothing wrong with that position.
Yes, this guy, Craftian, I got his video down in the description, so go look at some of his stuff, because this is a really good breakdown. He's showing like the steps for it. Not a lot of people look at it that way.
Developers are worthy of respect, but not when they pretend to be something they're not.
I mean, let's go. Alana P does it to herself without the anti-wokers.
For the same reason I haven't worked at Blizzard.
Yeah, there are actual issues I have too, Kaz.
Why I'm not a co-founder of Rockstar Games. Whether she did, in fact, also spend her contract at Sony Santa Monica as a writer for other games is unclear, but her only other writing-specific credit she has in anything to do with God of War Ragnarok was a cookbook. At the time of writing this video, Alana Pierce does not have a single publicly available writing credit on any game to date. By now, the point should be clear. It is one thing for media personalities to move between outlets. This is not unheard of and, if anything, encouraged, given how tightly knit the media circuit is and moving in the same circles. It is another thing entirely.
She did work on the Ori game? Okay.
To use your role as a games media personality or streamer or highbrow critic to strong-arm your way into the industry through connections, bias, and ultimately nepotism. Jonathan Dornbrush, Kevin Van Ord, and Alana Pierce are only a few examples of the cronyism that exists within games media, where personalities are awarded with developer or studio roles, while actual developers.
People don't always give credit if you didn't do enough. Well, I agree, sure. But flat out saying that you didn't work on it when you, in fact, say you did. Yeah, it's a bad, it's bad. It's a bad look. It's, Kimoji's got it right. We love nepotism here. Nepotism is great. It's just really bad lying and extremely bad actor. Yeah, it just completely ruins the trust that's already missing out. Ooh, excuse me. On a journalism that is already hated. Should I go with? All right, guys. Should I go with? 'Tis but a scratch. The pilot removes health and mech integrity on remaining parts when losing one of its parts of their mech. Or do I go with dummy thick? Pilot has significantly increased HP, but gains reduced experience. I'm thinking dummy thick. I like the idea of dummy thick, more HP. Recovers. Yeah, recovers. The pilot recovers. Oh, did I say removes? My bad. Which one? What do you think?
developers with real, tangible
I'm probably going with
experience are
dummy
not.
fish.
This is not only blatantly corrupt, not only evidence of clear favoritism, it is an affront to the journalistic integrity which these bottom feeders pretend to uphold. What is particularly egregious about cases such as Alana Pierce is the astounding lack of oversight and failing to disclose an obvious conflict
that's probably
of interest.
true.
There is the previous example where she had her voice and likeness used in Cyberpunk 2077, given one of their branded chairs, and praised it in the lead up to release, but this is small change compared to her other behaviour. Even if I had not just provided irrefutable evidence of her claiming to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok, and thus breaching her NDA at the time as a contractor, the fact she and many other media personalities and YouTubers are free to continue streaming and voice opinions about anything, let alone competitions or the games they're actively involved in, beggars belief. It is indicative of the deep corruption and fundamental lack of integrity that each of these people holds, and returning to my central thesis, what a fucking joke it is to claim that any of you are journalists. Games media is in bed with the industry.
That's what I like. We're getting a little angry now. Did people suddenly forget what those are? Oh.
And corporations, and to claim otherwise is nothing short of delusion. When I worked in the games industry, I was required to submit a conflict of interest form for anything I did that was game related. This included modding for Skyrim. It went to the studio's legal team and everything. When I was hired, I wasn't even allowed to continue an indie team that I just started with some friends at uni for some small projects to help build up our portfolios. That is how strict it is. This is not that surprising. Non-competitive agreements and ownership clauses around material produced while working at a studio isn't unheard of. There are similar examples in other industries. This kind of thing is why you'll see on developers' social media pages the disclaimer that all opinions are my own, or something to that effect. Companies value optics highly and tightly control the behavior of their employees, at least in lower or less important positions. It's why I was personally so surprised that Alana Pierce and others of her contemporaries continue to, and are still allowed to this day, stream games, talk about what they're working on, endorse other games from other studios such as Xbox and Microsoft, and voice act or work in other projects at the same time. I can tell you, had I done this, or the thousands of no-name developers in the industry right now, we would face disciplinary action, likely subject to an investigation, or even fired. In the case where we produced a game or demo as part of this would be subject to heavy litigation, and if we were to resist, our employer would take us to court trying to get the rights to it. Why didn't this happen to Alana? Doubly so, considering she said she was a contractor, and that nervousness in the clip earlier was because she knew what she could or couldn't say depending on the non-disclosure agreement that she'd signed on joining Sony Santa Monica. Do you think any of us would be invited to early previews, get free codes, even get the chance to start our own podcast with other gaming orbiters, let alone get to 119 episodes of it? I'll tell you why. It's because she is a media personality and a streamer, not a journalist, and she was used for cynical PR purposes. Alana has since privated or deleted a lot of the videos where she talks about God of War or Sony Santa Monica, which has made it difficult to track down. Thankfully, and unfortunately for her, archives have made it difficult for her to control the narrative.
I've learned not to like the head of the Ori team. Oh, yeah?
Media has become a platform to bypass the industry grind that the rest of us have to go through, much like QA positions used to be
that is
thought of,
probably true. That's a good point.
Why put the effort into actually getting experience in a role and work on games when you can just use your public reputation and industry connections to skip all that instead? It's all the more appalling that companies don't understand the optics of this. Even if it was all above board and they weren't quite clearly engaging in nepotism, favoritism, favoritism and backroom deals with the very people that claim to hold them to account, the free PR and brand recognition is more important because everyone is either too stupid or unwilling to look close enough to question it. Oh yes, a second helping of influencer-approved slop, please. Jonathan Dornbrush, Kevin Van Ord, Alana Pierce, and all the others like them are no different to the YouTubers who strong-arm their way into acting roles. They do not have experience, they don't even really have talent. What they have is brand power, favors, and free PR. And in an industry that is as corrupt to its core as gaming is, that's all that really matters. While this video is meant to address industry practices and the endemic corruption within games media rather than targeting individuals per se, this is one case where the entire pretense of journalism, accurate reporting, any level of integrity, and above all, the truth, completely falls apart. It is Jason Schreier, of all media personalities, that has been placed on a pedestal and believes he is some kind of bastion of truth and journalistic integrity. Allow me to show you that this is not the case. On June 24th, 2020, while writing for Bloomberg, Schreier, among many other journalists, reported on the allegations made against Chris Avellone as part of a Me Too-style reckoning within the games industry. He spends over half the article detailing the allegations by the multiple women, and the only mention of Avellone himself was that he declined multiple requests to comment. Whether these requests were actually made and Schreier attempted to get in contact with Avellone is unclear. This article was written only 4 days after the allegations were first made public on Twitter. Keep that in mind. Chris Avellone, in response to the blatantly false allegations, filed a libel lawsuit against the women, specifically Carissa Barrows and Kelly Ray Bristol, who made the initial allegations. The case concluded in March 2023, unequivocally in his favour, with the two women fully retracting their claims, issuing unequivocal apologies, and the settlement of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit for damages to Avellone and his career. Schreier has not retracted or attempted to clarify his initial report that Avellone was part of a Me Too reckoning and, by implication, a sexual predator getting what he deserved. To this day, articles remain up that do not clarify or retract any of the allegations, such as this article by Sean Murray from...
Does anyone actually ever turn around and like retract their statement? I feel like that's never a thing anymore. Jason also didn't mention the I'm assuming you're meaning SA claim that came out of Rocksteady when reporting on the Suicide Squad. Really?
From The Gamer, which was written 2 days after the allegations and made no effort to contact Avellone for comment. The only source listed in this article is Twitter and Carissa Barrows herself. This fails in not only being objective, it is not even accurate reporting. Returning to Jason Schreier, when the culture at Blizzard was exposed, he admitted that he actually knew about the allegations for years, but didn't have enough to write an article.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Pretty much no one is going to be held accountable for their takes. No one, I mean, and this is definitely the fault of people in general who read these articles. We read them and then we move on. Most of them don't even read them. We read the headlines and move on. And never look, any farther than that to what could actually be the truth, what's actually happening, and what, needs to be changed.
And yet, this is the same reporter that did exactly that in the case of Chris Avellone with a few Twitter posts 4 days later. By 2024, clearly there was enough to warrant writing an entire book about Blizzard Entertainment, and yet I'll remind you that he has not issued an apology or retracted or clarified anything to do with Chris Avellone, just like the rest of the media outlets that reported on the unsubstantiated and categorically false allegations. That should speak for itself as the kind of reporter Schreier really is.
You still have to, one thing I can say about this is Schreier should have done his due diligence in it before just making the claims. Like, once you make the claims, it's out there. I always think of the pedo allegations from way back in the day. Jason is actually really good at his job. I don't know much about him. I know the anti-woke hate him, and I've seen some comments he's made that I think were pretty retarded. I don't remember if it's him or someone else, but I can't say this. I mean, this very thing looks bad. Pouring out sexual misconduct without having all the information for it, right?
I'm sure many of the women.
It's like all the YouTubers that used to call people pedos to try and ruin their careers, or over what they think is happening, but there's no real pedophilia. I think of like Keemstar and what's his face, who ended up
would have appreciated you reporting on Blizzard, but I guess the truth is only convenient for you, Jason, when it brings a lot of ad revenue to the site you're writing for and the press tour after writing a new book. Simply put, Jason Schreier is not an investigative journalist or a source of truth or even accurate in his reporting. He is a biased grifter that is built up...
No, not I am Alex. The guy who offed himself. There was Keemstar called the dude a pedo, and... Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm thinking of the YouTuber that offed himself. Yeah, I think he was a RuneScape guy or something like that. I don't remember his name. But I remember Keemstar saying that he was a pedophile and with a 15-year-old girl without any evidence of it, and then it later came out that it was all bullshit.
Of a reputation that people take his explicitly biased articles at face value and does not operate with any kind of integrity or objectivity that actual journalism demands. His big pieces, such as the expose on BioWare at the time of Anthem's...
Yeah, he came in afterwards, all the backlash that he fucking got for that shit, but I don't know that you would call him helping the old guy out. Trying to clean up the mess he made is what he did.
Development highlights a pattern of this behavior. First of all, the article is predicated almost entirely on the allegations of 19 anonymous employees, where conveniently there is no way to actually prove whether any of what they're saying is true, and much like the abalone allegations, is little more than hearsay. Did someone actually go into a room and cry? Your guess is as good as mine. This is not running defense for BioWare. Clearly the studio and EA interference and the whole Anthem debacle was a gigantic shit show. This is specifically examining the nature of his reporting and how little solid evidence he can actually provide. Anyone can put quotation marks around any claim, and this gives reporters like Jason Schreier plausible deniability were it to come back and bite them on the proverbial arse, such as with Chris Avalone. The anonymity is understandable. If all 19 of these people are actually current or former BioWare employees at the time the article was written, they don't want to experience backlash or firing for speaking out. However, when the crux of an article is entirely based on evidence that cannot be proven or disproven either way, this is not solid reporting or representative of integrity. It's gossip. That is all that Jason Schreier does. Post gossip and reap the rewards as some kind of bastion of moral integrity that's holding the industry to account. Schreier is one of the many figures within games media that is incapable of separating his own personal beliefs and biases from actual objective journalism. An infamous example was the review of the PlayStation 5 by Ian Walker at Kotaku in November 2020. There should have been an evaluation of technical specifications and perhaps how it felt to play, but Walker then...
I agree, but I disagree with him because the job of journalists can be damaging. This is speaking from hindsight. Yeah, it could be. Like I said, unfortunately, I don't know much about Schreier. I before I really even got online, it was I didn't really pay attention to who the journalists were. I might read the article, but I don't think like the vast majority of people who read gaming articles and different things like that actually care about who the journalist is. I mean, you can. Obviously, people online do. You know far too much about Jason. Good to know, Kaz. At least I've got a knowledge base in the audience for where I got the guys. This is the same guy that exposed Taylor for lying about platinum games. Okay. Well, I don't blame him. He's mostly correct here. Jason and I am sure has to deal with BS politics. Oh, I think everybody does in the gaming industry. Maybe I'll have to look up more on Schreier and his history to see my own opinion of it. You know what I mean?
Launched into a completely irrelevant breakdown about COVID-19, political violence, and a prevailing feeling of despair. What does this have to do with the PlayStation 5? That's an excellent question. Not only did he think this was worth writing in the first place, everyone at Kotaku thought it was okay to post. Games media is incapable of separating themselves and their own hubris in their reporting, and they fail at even the most basic journalistic standards because it is not objective. The reporting is designed solely to fit a narrative. I could keep going, such as the propaganda surrounding Gamergate that it was solely about harassing outspoken feminist women and not at all related to holding corrupt games media to account, but this should speak for itself. There are no game journalists. There are only company men and arrogant...
Yeah, he was... Boop. Let's go back here a little
solely
bit.
About harassing outspoken feminist reporting, and they fail at even the most basic journalistic standards because it is not objective. The reporting is designed solely to fit a narrative. I could keep going, such as the propaganda surrounding Gamergate that it was solely about harassing outspoken feminist women and not at all related to holding corrupt games media to account, but this should speak for itself.
Yeah, this is something you hear the argument over when it comes to that was never the holding games journalists accountable. So he is missing on the Gamergate thing. I mean, I remember a lot of it being, starting out about that. The problem is me watching it from my point of view, they were taking the worst of the worst and using that to build this narrative that this is what everything that Gamergate was. Did it spiral into what we have now? Sure. But they're up until the very moment of Gamergate, there was this constant tension being built up between the gamers of the gaming industry, gaming YouTubers, and the media on the way it was being reported. It was I remember watching constant videos on it. The stuff that happened that sparked Gamergate was from that tension. What happened during Gamergate, I think, could be a very different thing. It looks at what side you're looking at. It started out as wanting ethics in gaming journalism, but they never acknowledge how their own movement got detailed by letting bad actors in. Well, yeah, I agree. I noticed where he said he was a game dev. He does modding now. That's cool. So, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing that's kind of happened now with a lot of politicians. Well, I mean, it's always been that way with politics. It's something you see in politics a lot. It's gotten worse over the years with gaming politics, where you're more than willing to side with someone who has terrible morals and ethics because other people are calling you that thing, right? Because we laugh at the guy who makes a crazy video, but then they start calling all gamers are misogynists and this way and that, then you start to side with the guy that's not a good actor. It's common thing that happens. The you're a Nazi even though you're not, so now you will, you'll move towards, it's not really I hate the idea of a pipeline. You'll be more empathetic to an actual Nazi. Same thing on the woke side with the very progressive people who go in there. If anything, this type of acting has led to YouTubers to not be much better than games journalists. Oh, absolutely. Most of the big gaming journalists now are big gaming review places are just as compromised as any of the other journalists that are out here, because they still want access to the games, right? If you're going to make a YouTube review channel, you need to be the first one to the punch, because unless you're like the big boys who are always going to get engagement, you're racing against all the other game review channels to get something out. And in some cases, you're not even seeing people play the full game.
There are no game journalists. There are only company men and arrogant, self-important hacks. Finally, it's fitting that we end this video on what is the final form of games media and the face of everything wrong with it, Jeff Keighley.
This partnership, and why I'm excited about it, is that they're really adding value to the equation.
To quote Eurogamer's Robert Florence, Jeff Keighley is often described as an industry leader, a games expert. He is one of the most prominent games journalists in the world, and there he sits, right there, beside a table of snacks. He will be sitting there forever in our minds. That's what he is now, and in a sense, it is what he always was. As executive producer of the mindless, horrifying spectacle that is the Spike TV Game Awards, he oversees the delivery of a televisual table full of junk, an entire festival of cultural Doritos. This was in 2012, by the way. There couldn't be a more perfect image of the corruption and hypocrisy of games media. Florence's description captured the microcosm of games media over games.
I gotta disagree there. I think he tries to hold bigger sway on what it is. He gives that nice guy persona, absolutely. And he almost gives off this kind of dumb persona, but he's very much a like you watch the memes of the Game Awards, where even this last Game Awards, the games he pushes are not really what I think the gamers in the gaming industry want. It's again, I don't know the back scenes of it. Yeah, he does a good job of listening to criticism. Maybe, but I mean, look at the mess that the Game Awards, I think, is. We talked about it a lot when we were going through a lot of it. Last year's show was really annoying. I mean, there was a lot of things in this year's show. Like, one is Claire Obscura winning Indy and winning Game of the Year. His calling out of the game he call that as being like the big one at the end of the night, being the High Guard one. Maybe not as annoying as last time, but still.
Journalism beautifully, but that's not all, because Keighley somehow managed to get worse. From sitting beside snacks and Halo 4 promotion, to hosting the Summer Games Fest for IGN, to the Game Awards each December, Keighley has, if anything, doubled down on this image. Florence may have been charitable in describing him as a journalist, but there is no journalism to be had, nor integrity or self-respect. Whenever Keighley invites his best friend Hideo Kojima up on stage, or cuts off award winners to move on to the next lot of commercials, you know that there is nothing left over. There is no integrity, no interest in truth, only profit and our friends and connections. There is no such thing as games journalism. Returning to the article from earlier, Florence elaborated further, quote, "The GMAs shouldn't exist. By rights, that room should be full of people who feel uncomfortable in each other's company. PR people should be looking at game journos and thinking, that person makes my job very challenging. Why are they all best buddies? What the hell is going on?" That's an excellent question. Forbes writer Eric Kane then expanded on this with an article from Gamasutra in 2007. Quote, "The games press is almost entirely dependent on access to information, people, and products that only game publishers can provide. You want the latest details on a game that's still a year away from release? What you get, when you get it, and who you get it from are ultimately decisions made by that game's marketers." An article from October 2012, before Gamergate, before Trump, before COVID, summed up everything you could possibly need to know about games media. Because returning to my central thesis, there is no journalism and there are no journalists. Assuming this video gets any attention, I'm sure the media personalities, streamers, and various other players who are morally bankrupt grifters will attempt to paint this video as malicious and that I'm some kind of alt-right, incel, sexist, transphobic, whatever pig that should be silenced.
True.
I eagerly await that response, because if games media has shown anything over the years, all it can do is double down even further. If you want things to change, let the ad revenue dry up and the great grift end along with it. Thanks for watching.
Good video. Good video. Go check out Craftian. Again, I got the link in the description. Good way to explain games journalism. I like that. Now, let's see if Simon's actually ready. Are you ready, Simon? Are you ready to jump on it? Are you home, or did you go back to work? Oh, where's that patrol going? I mean, 33-1, and it was an indie studio. I don't have an issue with it winning so much. So there's an argument against that. I watched another video. EGAD has made a video on Expedition 33. They're indie, but they're less indie than you may think they are. There's a lot of planning that went into Sandfall Productions coming into place from a lot of people who worked in big companies like Tencent and NetEase and different things like that. If anything, I'd call them Nepo indie. And even in an interview with some of the people, they didn't say they were an indie company. They said that they were going for an indie vibe. So, yeah, some of them were former Ubisoft devs. But it's more like they had everything in the connections to get started more than being an indie company that rose up to build what it is. And, you know, there are indie companies that I would say are technically still independent companies, like Embark, I think, is one of those. But it's also another one where they had everything they needed to set up, right? Just remember, he had the idea and pitch it to Ubisoft, and they said no. True. But it's an interesting concept on, like, where is indie now? Because that term is so widespread. Is it the little, what do we call the little guy who made Stardew Valley and became popular versus the company that instantly got the money they needed to make their game? Simon, where are you at, boy? I'm gonna watch this thing without you. And so up next, I mean, it isn't much different from someone starting their own animation studio after getting a few years of experience. Yes, but like I said, the money moving around it, especially around that publishing company, Kepler, is very damning. Isn't Simon showing up in like 9 minutes? No, he said he was, maybe he is still traveling. We'll play the game for a minute. I don't know that I can take on that patrol. And we'll go from there. Oh no, they're going after, I gotta go after them. Maybe they're not. Okay. Let's avoid them. Oh, they're gonna beat me. Uh-oh. Alarms ring out in the briefing rooms. You move too close to an enemy patrol. All around you, the crew prepare to fight. Oof. This is gonna be... I gotta bring my other guy. Defender. There we go. So I've enjoyed this little game. If you've been watching, it's the whole basis of this game is you have this predictive technology that lets you see like 5 seconds into the future, so you can plan out your attacks as they happen and knowing kind of where the enemy is going to go and do things. A lot of fun. especially if you like these kind of games, everyone's going to be tired after this. I have enjoyed playing this off channel, and I can't wait to play it some more. Let's get old Smash off the screen for a moment while we wait on Simon. And if you have any questions or you want to keep arguing about, whatever subject, talking about whatever subject, I am always down. All right, so what are we up against here? The crew needs time to get the base running again, protect it from damage until it's repaired. Where's the base? Oh, okay, I see. We're right there. And we've got... Oh, that's not that bad a force, right? What do we got here? Charger, light tank. Light tank. He is... SMG. Oh, he's got double SMGs. Nice. I need to make that build. Double shotguns. Or no, just one shotgun. Excuse me. Nice. All right. Let's get moving. I don't think we're having a problem doing this. You get up here. And then take a shot at the end. At this guy. And we'll start moving probably back over here after. Next is my defender bro. We're going to get you... You're slow, but we're going to get you as far up as we can into that fight with your shoddy to hottie. Which one is this? There we go. We're going to get you moving too. I want you... You don't have a boost though. I thought you were faster than this. I did not... Oh, yeah, you do have a booster. There we go. Let's back that up a little bit. Nope. Yep, dash. We'll get him into close combat. And finally, you're faster than all of them. Can he run across here? Nope, he'll get collision. Nope. Let's move that back. Okay. Can he get through there? There we go. If he gets here, he can start firing, even though he can't start firing. Okay. Let's make sure he's not colliding. Yeah, he's colliding right there. Okay. Maybe we'll just do him this way. We'll just circle him around because he's the fasty boy. No collision. Then once he gets here, he'll dash up to there. Boom. And execute. I mean, it could be weird doing it in these 5-second bursts, but I'm still enjoying the thing. And supposedly they're doing they've done a thing where you can actually watch the whole battle happen. I don't know why they didn't put that in to begin with. Excuse me. What is this? Ooh, a missile. Don't like that. Don't like that. Okay. Can the sniper hit it? – 90%. Chance, we'll go with that. A little overheating here. I'm going to be switching games at this point. What are you playing right now? And then 100% over there. I switch games like I switch clothes sometimes. I get interested in one, work it for a while. So I thought I'd start doing this kind of like indie games thing where I play an indie game for about a week, check out another one, maybe go back to some stuff. My Hero Ultra Rumble. That one I don't know. Actually, I can pull up Steam. Boop. If it's on Steam, of course. My Hero. Oh, gotcha. Whoa. Pick your favorite characters. I've never, like, been into the anime. I'm not into most fighting games anyway, but I don't know. The anime fighting games have never just brought me up. Even with, like, Dragon Ball Z, there were some of the older ones that I had, little ports for on the PC, but never really been a big thing for me. Where is he at? It's this guy. So that's where he's going to start shooting. So we're going to put that shield right around there. It's going to be this guy who shoots. Damn, this guy. Oh, this guy's going all the way around. Okay. Except for that's not going to happen. Kinetic projection, making contact and ricocheting without inflicting. I have so many games to play, and I'm about to get even more with the winter sale. Don't even talk about it. I've already seen games that I want to pick up for the winter sale, and I don't need any more. But of course, I'm going to pick them up. And then you got games coming out. Like, I have been looking forward to Menace coming out. That's one I'll probably play the demo one day on stream, because I'm a huge fan of Battle Brothers. I like playing that game and just constantly losing people and trying to build up. So I'm excited for this one being more, futuristic. Window shopping is very dangerous, very dangerous. I go in there, I'm just going to look, and then I start adding to cart. And just, doing what we do here, we buy games. Where we got here? You are doing your thing. Then you're going to move over here. I want you to move over here. I want you to, like, boom. Like, I need to back up a little bit. Actually, I don't even need to really back up, right? Oh, yeah, I do. Wait. Then move in here. Can we hit him sooner? I could if I jumped my weight back. Let's see. When do we want to? I hate that it does it that way. Okay. Now let's try melee. Man, I just can't get this one right. And what's funny is like a lot of the games that I want to buy are not, AAA games. They're definitely like indie scene games. So just fermenting the idea that I want to stay in the indie scene. Will it let me dive again? Can I, like... Oh, it does heat it up a little bit. Let's just dive into two of them. Boom, boom, boom. We'll see. I'll have to let y'all know what I end up buying for the sale. Problem is the winter sale happens, around Christmas time. So I've already spent all my money on kids and everything else. It's like, why did I even have them? Oh man, let's see. What else are we gonna do here? Let's get him. Boop. Actually, we're not gonna shield. I think we're just going to pulse field. Then we're gonna wait till this guy gets here, and then we're just gonna start shotgunning him in the face. Okay. We can get 100% there. 100% there. Gonna shoot my own guy though, I think, if I do that. Okay. The second shot, let's go back to him. This one needs to go. So you do your first attack. Move over in this direction and dash. Go in and start killing some of this other stuff. What's your most, like, what's your number one Kimoji? What do you want to get them in number one? First thing you're picking up no matter what. And we got you. Okay, let's go here. Wait. Dive out. I don't know, to be honest. Let me in. Man, I've been waiting all day for you. What are you doing, Simon? What's up, buddy?
Yeah, sorry about that. Not much. Let me just mute the stream real quick.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll put my screen up so you can see it. You can see
Alrighty.
it. Let's go look. Here, let me bring it up. Boop. For everybody. Let's learn about some pick-me's. I'm guessing this is something you're well versed in.
Well, sort of, and yeah. There's also a few things in here that I personally did not agree with Noah on, but there's also a lot that I actually did agree with him on this one.
Gotcha. Yeah, I figured there might be some, considering my my different opinions on some things when it comes to it.
Mm-hmm.
I usually get a handful too many games per sale. Yeah, me too. I have a huge bucket list that I'm gonna have to like write in my will that my kids must complete after I die, or they don't get anything. All right, so now we're gonna begin. Me and Simon are gonna watch Anti-Woke Pick-Me Girls Are a Bizarre Phenomenon with by OtterlyNoah.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Watch. Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys, it's for men.
Okay, we're going to start out with, that's a pretty common, like, Sasquatch, and I'm trying to think of...
Bathwater.
Yeah, it's a pretty common male soap commercial. So let's see where it goes.
So in recent memory, you might have heard.
Huh?
Sydney Sweeney. So yeah, keep going.
Yeah, right.
Of an actress called Sydney Sweeney. She seems to be making the rounds in the news this year, and not necessarily for all the best reasons. As of me making this video, she actually holds the record for the most amount of flops tied to an actress in 2025, having started 4 movies that ended up tanking pretty drastically at the box office. In particular, she starred in Christie, Americana, Eden, and Echo Valley this year, the first 3 of which came to theaters and ended up underperforming, and the last of which was a straight-to-streaming movie that ended up underperforming the amount of streams that Apple was hoping for, since they were the distributor for the film. Now, on the surface, you could perhaps write this off as these being the sorts of films that most mainstream audiences aren't necessarily going to flock to. For a bit of an example, most general audiences aren't going to flock to something from Searchlight Pictures or A24 like Rental Family or Friendship from earlier this year, the way they're going to flock to something like Avatar Fire and Ash later this month. Unless you're a weirdo like me.
Yes, OtterlyNoah does sound like Kermit the Frog. I agree.
Wow. I'll let him know you said that.
Kermit the Frog was one of my favorite Muppets. What can you say?
So what, does that mean you sound like Miss Piggy?
Mr. Piggy, to you, sir.
Okay.
Me and Saw the Roses, Friendship, Rental Family, and Eddington all in theaters this year. But when we look at the films that Sydney Sweeney has starred in, and more specifically Sweeney herself, there obviously is a bigger problem that is turning off a lot of people to her films. Earlier this year, Sydney Sweeney underwent some controversy due to an ad she appeared in for American Eagle jeans. The ad itself raised some eyebrows since some speculated it might be hinting at eugenics, since Sydney Sweeney is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman and she talked about having good genes in the ad. People weren't really sure if Sweeney was actually trying to hint at eugenics though, so after the ad came out, she was...
It wasn't Sweeney who... She just did the shoot, right? This was one of the silliest, huh?
She did the shoot, but then again, like I get like people like to say, oh, maybe she didn't write the script or whatever. Maybe she did have a say in the script. Like I don't like that's the thing that we don't. Chances are we don't know those details, and we probably won't ever know them.
Oh yeah. I also think the whole thing was just dumb, right? Yeah, they were trying to say obviously
it was kind of cringe, but it was also. Like personally, to be honest with you, it did also kind of like raise an eyebrow. To me personally, I think it was kind of like a dog whistle, but hey, details.
Yeah, I don't think it was. When you're talking about like what they're doing is they took a super hot girl and were like, we have good genes. It's not a thing to eugenics. She's just super hot. They could have put anybody in her
I don't know.
place.
The wording sounded kind of off, though. That's my personal take on it. Like the wording was off.
I get what
they could have worded it better. Worded a lot better.
Sure.
Anyways, keep going. I got nothing else to say on that one.
Shit.
She was given a chance to clarify her stance on this by getting interviewed. But unfortunately, her response to this reporter asking her about that and trying to give her an opportunity to clarify herself. And
I agree with Kaz here. It was a bad pun that got hijacked by morons. That I agree with.
Distance herself from eugenics was very telling.
Is there something that you want to say?
When you really think about it. Morons from both sides.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, the defenders who came in to defend her
attackers
were just retarded.
Any attackers who were basically just kind of like saying, no, that's bad. That's eugenics.
Yeah, they're Nazi. She's a Nazi. Whatever comes for it.
Her interview though really didn't help her case. Like this interview that he's talking about, that did not help her case though.
Yeah,
like that, because let's be real. Yeah, like he's going to like play it. I'm going to tell you, like this was a really softball interview.
Yeah, well, I know this woman caught a lot of heat for it. Let's get the reminder.
The Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Do you have? The ad spoke for itself. Maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking, and. Since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
So yeah, due to this, and also the audience that Sydney Sweeney very intentionally tries to market herself towards, she's earned something of a moniker as what is known as an anti-woke pick-me girl. For those unaware what an anti-woke...
So... Here's my take, like looking at her attitude, listening to this girl bring this ridiculous, like I said, I think it's ridiculous idea up in the thing. She's like, if I have anything that I want to talk, it sounds like she's just trying not to give it the time of day. You can say she should have made some comment, but what do you want her to say about?
Like, I'll be honest. Shoot? I mean, very simple. Like it's not the shoot itself that was being commented. It was the whole discussion around it. Mm-hmm. It's like at that point, it's as simple as saying, "No, I don't endorse white supremacy. I think it's bad. I don't endorse eugenics." That's all she needed to say. That's all she needed to say.
That's such a thing. Like this can come up every time though. It comes around. Like everyone has to immediately say Nazis bad. Yeah, we know. That Nazis
we know.
Are bad.
But that's the thing. It's such an easy slam dunk. Just not. white supremacy bad, eugenics bad. That's all you needed to say. No, I don't agree with some of how some people were interpreting the messaging of that ad. And she should have just left it at that.
I don't think that would have helped. Like, I've seen it not work before. It's this idea that like you have to say anything about it. She was in the shoot. She didn't, as far as we know, she didn't make up the line. She took the pictures, but now she's got to bow down and say, just flat out say Nazis bad, even though there's nothing else showing that she has any connection.
But again, that's like the easiest way out when you give a response like she did, though. That's like, so are you trying to endorse? Are you endorsing it? Are you are you actually saying that you're endorsing it, or are you trying to not say you're not endorsing it? Because that's the whole thing. It's like when the whole thing about pick-me's is that they say something, but when they're actually questioned about what they meant, it's like,
but what did she say?
Announce it. Well, that's the thing. It's the whole fucking discussion around the whole eugenics thing, and the whole discussion whether she endorses it or not. If she said no, I don't endorse. She doesn't support eugenics, just say you don't endorse eugenics.
To me, that's like saying the grass is blue, right? There's this thing where you always have to say it's a meme and it's a joke to say, this bad, that bad. From her point of view,
I know, but again, in this particular case, that's like, come on, dude, just clear it up and just say no, you don't endorse it. It's like it's a simple question. It's like there's no really yes or no answer. If you don't support Nazis and eugenics, just say you don't support Nazis and eugenics. And if people get mad about it and still don't believe you, well, those people can bitch and cry all the fuck they want. You just made your stance clear.
Yeah, see,
but when you don't make your stance clear like that, it's like, and now you're just leaving the door open to say, oh no, actually, I still want the racists and the eugenics to come in and support me. Actually, I still want their money. I still want their support.
She's saying in that situation, though, right? Well, I'll have to watch more into it, but like this is her when she's saying that when I have something to say, she's clearly doesn't want to give it the time of day, right?
Okay. And again,
anything come out after that?
But again, that's like I said, you're leaving the door open at that point to the white supremacists and all that other bullshit. That's the thing. And again, later on, she actually goes to somewhat be more clear on it and actually sort of denounce it more, but not directly denounce it, but say,
let's see more.
Pick me girl, or just what a pick me is in general. It's usually a woman that very intentionally markets herself towards a very particular audience, usually spouting out different beliefs or saying things she knows will resonate with that audience. And of course, usually it's a male audience in particular. In the case of Sydney Sweeney, she often puts on this not like the other girls, cool girl type persona that she tries to market specifically towards a right-wing male audience. And she will often make statements as if they're a generally accepted objective fact rather than an opinion she has, or in some cases misinformation that she's intentionally tweaked. This is the case for a lot of anti-woke pick-me girls, since they want to state things that they know will resonate directly with their male audience, even if they may not necessarily believe it themselves. However, it's very easy for them to echo the beliefs of their audience back to them in order to create a market off of that. Now, it is important there is a difference between a pick-me girl and a girl that says something that you don't necessarily agree with. Just like how there's a difference between a grifter and just a critic that says something you don't agree with. Much like someone who is actually a grifter, a pick-me girl will often try to sell their audience on an ideology whether or not they actually hold that belief themselves, usually for personal gain, generally monetary gain. This is different than just simply a woman who has a different opinion. So today, I want to look at a variety of pick-me girls, talk about why exactly they are pick-me girls, and talk about where exactly their career is going because of that currently. To start, let's start with Sydney Sweeney, who's probably the most recently relevant out of all these pick-me girls, and also one of the most interesting as to how she became a pick-me in the first place. Sydney Sweeney initially got her start having smaller roles in TV shows such as Grey's Anatomy and Kickin' It for Disney. She would go on to have smaller roles in shows like Heroes, Criminal Minds, Pretty Little Liars, The Middle, and things like that, until eventually she reached her breakthrough role in The Handmaid's Tale. Her role as Eden in this show was what ended up bringing her into the mainstream.
show.
And following this, her role in Euphoria ended up bringing her even further into it, and also her role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She also, unfortunately, starred in the film Madam Web, which, of course, was a big flop. After starring in this film, Sweeney decided to more or less write it off by starring in an SNL monologue where she joked about being in the film.
You might have seen me in Anyone But You or Euphoria. You definitely did not see me in Madam Web.
And for some reason, during this
Okay,
monologue where she jokes about starring in Madam Web of all things, this is actually the moment where a lot of right-wingers began to cling to her as an icon. In particular, after this episode aired, an article came out from the National Post calling Sydney Sweeney's breasts double D harbingers of death of woke. No, I am not making that up, unfortunately. And as a result, a lot of other right-wing outlets started jumping in on this, calling
I love how people love to bitch about like left-wing news outlets being like fucking like cringe. But can we just agree that fucking right-wing news outlets are equally as cringe, if not more?
Oh, 100%. Like this, it's I talk about like Park Place and definitely Park Place. I'm trying to think of some other ones that are just like they're the Kotakus.
Bounding in Comics.
Yeah, Bounding in Comics. The Geeks and Gamers are just the, Kotakus.
I mean, Geeks and Gamers now they're basically like collaborating with that Park Place now, so they're just basically becoming one big amalgamation, but that's a whole different can of worms.
Well, they have to bring their viewers together so they can survive. Geeks and Gamers is a dead channel.
I know, it's Nerdrotic isn't doing too well either, by the way.
No, I don't believe he is. I've been watching. I looked at his. No, it was Flash's that I looked at. I haven't looked at Nerdrotic's stuff yet. Flash. I
mean, Nerdrotic is still like staying above water, but he's not doing. Yeah. He's plateaued and he's actually losing views. Hell, losing subs and views. Hell, even Critical Drinker to some extent has also reached that point, though. Critical Drinker, the reason why he's still so relevant is because he's so fucking massive.
Yeah. It kind of goes into the same thing with like Endymion. He's several hundred thousand.
Several hundred? How many? I didn't even check how many subs the guy is actually. Like, I don't even remember.
Endymion has a lot. He's probably the biggest of the anti-woker channels, I think.
At the moment?
At the moment, yeah. Because he still gets good views.
Jesus Christ, man. Fucking slow.
Endymion
people
TV,
really do.
Yeah. He is 390K. And
that's nothing. How many views does he average on most of his videos?
100K, 120, 146. He's been doing like the 200K. He's probably averaging somewhere between 150 to 200.
No, that's actually funny. That is actually funny because Endymion is like, I want to know half, not like slight more than a half, like a free third smaller than Rev Says Desu. And somehow he's averaging more views than him. Yeah, that's legit fucking funny. That is legit so fucking funny.
Hello, Jasmine. Welcome to the chat. We are going over pick-me's right now. You got to be careful, Kamoji. We've got a Fandom Pulse writer in our chat. Egad writes for him. And I agree. Babe, I have some problems with a lot of.
Babe, how you doing?
Jasmine, you know Jasmine?
Yeah, she's my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome, Jasmine. Nice. I don't even know who Niche Gamer is. Like, that's not one I've ever heard. I will say some of EGAD's articles that I've read are pretty decent. Not a big fan of JDA. I've talked to him on a couple of occasions.
Oh, you mean the furry fuck boy?
I'm all right. We're gonna be honest. I'm gonna talk to. Well, you said fuck boy, not the other thing. I don't feed into the beat his wife stuff.
The beat his wife stuff. The beat his wife stuff.
Hello, Jasmine.
I mostly have a. Shut up, Jazz. Be quiet.
She don't want to claim you. You mostly have what?
Personally, my real issue with JDA is the fact that he's a fake fucking ass writer.
Yeah,
like AI swap writer. That's the part. That's what I don't like about the guy.
The furry stuff was JDA making fun of War Campaign. Had more to do with comic skate drama. Okay,
Anyways,
I've never even seen the furry stuff.
Anyways, keep going.
All right, I'll keep going.
Calling Sydney Sweeney their new anti-woke queen, essentially, which caused a lot of confusion for Sweeney herself, believe it or not. At first, she was confused why so many right-wingers were suddenly jumping on her and being obsessed with her, something she expressed in an interview with NME. Part of the cause for her landing in the eyes of a right-wing audience could very well be this thing that was mentioned during the monologue on SNL.
But when people ask, did you go to a Trump-themed party for your mom? I say, Idaho.
For those who don't know what Sydney is referring to, she's talking about how in 2023 she attended a birthday party for her mom that was actually all MAGA themed and did take place in Idaho. Her mom was turning 60, so everybody wore red hats that said "Make 60 Great Again." This actually caused quite a concern because, at least at the time, Sydney Sweeney's fanbase was actually mostly full of young progressive people, since those are the ones watching Euphoria. Sydney, however, dismissed her then fanbase and more or less doubled down on this, claiming that her mom's birthday party's theming wasn't meant to make a political statement at all. Even though, of course, the party was entirely MAGA themed, so yes, by definition, this is politically themed. Which, of course, is why exactly a year later, she ended up making this joke on SNL. And it's more than likely her joking about this that caused a lot of right-wingers to turn on to her to begin with. And it does seem that despite claiming that she was unsure why all these conservatives were jumping on her bandwagon, Sweeney did pick up on this after a bit and decided to market herself directly towards them after a while. She essentially began to adopt this cool girl, not like the other girls type attitude that a lot of these types of folks that pander directly towards right-wing men usually do in general, sort of what Michael Bay made Megan Fox do in Transformers. She ended up collabing with Dr. Squatch for this ad that is honestly...
Yeah, she very much does fit, looking at that Megan Fox persona for the younger guys, or for us older guys who used to watch. So yeah, I could see that. I don't know where she is. She's from Idaho. She's probably, I don't know how conservative it is up there, but obviously from her birthday party, she's pretty.
You mean bumfuck Idaho?
Yeah.
Last night chick was pretty damn conservative.
You'd be surprised sometimes, but yeah, I can guess that she grew up pretty conservative.
I mean, when it comes to dumb fucky Stan, I guess at this point I could be surprised with pretty much anything. Like, I mean, hey, you guys voted for pedophile twice in a row, so twice.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, if you look at it, pretty much. If you look at it, they're all pedophiles, so we're always voting for a pedophile. JDA plays into performative angle, which works. He runs a business and he does, and what he does works to an extent, but it's still performative. You don't know how he acts in real life. Yeah, I get it, but there's a certain, like, you have to, like, obviously I have a performative takes. I play, a character, but you still have to, like, where is he true to himself and when is it going overboard too much just to be performative? I mean, we look at what Smash JT is now, right? Where he became this performative anti-woker to the point that he's pretty much given up on all of his morals just to, I don't know, try and make money. Yes, the PDF.
Yes, Jab. We get it. You doing computer stuff for hackies. I get it. I know at least.
I'll let you know if I need you.
Honestly, one of the most cringy things ever, if you really look at it here, where she calls the audience dirty little boys and tries to sell soap to them. Yeah, this is somehow real. This is the world we live in.
Yeah, he needs to go watch. Noah needs to go watch Sasquatch commercials. Just about all of them are this ridiculous, and it came around. These type of commercials came around from like Old Spice commercials, and then just eventually started adding sexy women in it because these are the new Bud Light commercials.
Okay, we get it. Boomer. We get it. You're old. We get it. Okay. You're older
Hey,
than me.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what's in the history books, so you young whippersnappers can learn a thing or two. There seems to be a fine line between being a normal person and just going full blown locale and acting like the person you think your audience wants to act like. Yeah, it very much happens. It's something I try and be active of constantly. Like I don't ever want to be audience captured, but who knows if I'll actually survive that if I ever make anything of myself here.
I mean, you still have a few more subs to get before you actually just pass me. How many subs are you at anyways now?
116. I had like four or five people come from EGAD's stream and sub to me. They may be
neat. I'm actually at 203 now. Last I checked my sub count.
Nice. I'm moving up in the world slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. Anyways, keep going.
But the fun didn't stop here, because after a long string of these kinds of collaborations targeted directly towards a Gooner audience, including trying to sell her bathwater as a soap, no, I'm not making that up, Sydney Sweeney finally participated in the collaboration.
That one was,
she did the Emiru thing. She basically did, oh no, not Emiru, Emmer.
Hey, we got OtterlyNoah in the chat. What's going on, bud? Emiru,
like Amaranth. Sorry, Amaranth.
Well, he also who was the first girl?
Yeah, who basically did it.
Yeah.
Amaranth.
Well, there was a girl before Amaranth that sold her body fat. Amaranth did the beer from her fucking pussy yeast. That was so gross. God, what was her name? That crazy.
Why did you have to remind me of that?
I recently saw it the other day, a few months back, when she was arguing with her boyfriend back and forth, and there was a can of it, and he started drinking it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Emiru was pretty chill, Noah. I was just getting confused with the names because they both sound so bloody familiar.
Yeah.
Like, they sound nearly identical.
Yeah, it definitely was, but like it just reminds me of Bud Light commercials every time I see them. So
earlier this year got her a lot of controversy. She ended up starring in an American Eagle pants ad where she talked about having good jeans, which on the surface seems fine. The ad was about pants. She's wearing American Eagle jeans in the ad. The ad says she has good jeans. But a lot of people began to speculate, since Sydney Sweeney is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, and the fact she does cater exclusively to a right-wing audience, whether this was actually...
Whoa, Jazz. Don't you start with the Ankh stuff, too. I got too many in chat already.
An ad about white supremacy or not. So as a result of the speculation on this ad actually did cause quite a bit of controversy, and there was quite a bit...
Oh, you like him young, huh?
Shut the fuck up, man. She's 23, I'm 30. The age gap ain't that wide. Fuck off.
Good stuff.
Backlash towards it. As a result, after this ad initially came out, Sydney Sweeney ended up getting interviewed, and the person interviewing her actually threw her a bunch of bones to try to help her distance herself from this ad and what it possibly implied. But unfortunately, her response and interpreted attitude towards this reporter wasn't exactly the greatest.
Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself? The Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Do you have...
The ad spoke for itself.
Maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
The president tweeted about the jeans ad, or Truth Socialed about the jeans ad, and that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered...
Smash is doing giveaway. I saw that. You should enter, so he might have to give you some. Oh, that would be so precious. I'm gonna consider it.
Do it.
All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put myself in there.
Do it after the video, though.
Yeah. So I've got to see more after this, but I'm still kind of in the same mind that me and you were arguing about earlier. Like, it's to me, because from my point of view, it's all a ridiculous thing that was built up from it. Like, I get where people are doing the pattern recognition to her being blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and there very well could be something behind it somewhere, but there's nothing that I think builds enough truth to it. And she just seems more annoyed that she's being brought up with this. Like, yeah, Trump tweeted about her. No one can do anything about Trump tweeting about you.
I mean, but yeah, like I said, I said, personally, I think that, again, it's like, if like, again, she should have just like addressed the drama and just denounce that she and doesn't support white supremacy or eugenics. Like, that would have just been the better option, in my opinion. Like, that, it's case closed, shut the fuck up. Anybody on the left who's still mad about her can just go and cry some crocodile tears at that point, because
well, that's from your
she
side.
already denounced it. What more do you want her to do?
Yeah. I mean, I could see that, but again, it just seems like that doesn't tend to help in a lot of situations.
Well, her not saying anything didn't help her case this year, because all the movies she was in fucking bombed anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the better option would have been to just announce it outright. Maybe.
I mean, like I said, I agree with Noah on this, but this is one of those things where Wargaming Dad here doesn't agree with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is me from my right winger days, where I mean, I'm very still much
from his
right
red
leaning.
pill days. Like, he's still very much red pill to some extent.
Yeah, I very much am. I'm probably more right centrist, we'll say, the enlightened right centrist, and it's like that thing where you've seen people who. It was super popular back in the day. They'd look up you saying the N-word, right? A movie star or whoever, and cancel culture thing would start, and they would, some people would write a statement being like, hey, this wasn't who I was, blah, 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 blah. Another good idea of it is iDubbbz.
Unk, you're going off topic. Keep going.
No, it's very much the same thing, like her placating the idea. Or think of here. This is a little bit more like iDubbbz coming in and what is it called when you slap yourself with? Never mind, I won't say that. It's very much like iDubbbz going around apologizing to everybody for it, where no one gets.
What I like to call it is trolls remorse. That's what I like to call it.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing that I get with it, where the people who really haven't given it the time of day tend to be better. They may say something like, yeah, I said it when I was younger, but it's like, that's not who I am now.
I call it trolls remorse. Like Ego Raptor did the same. Yeah, Ego Raptor did the same thing on his part as well, and a lot of people kind of hate him for that now.
Yeah. Now there's obviously a different situation here with Sweeney. Like I said, maybe we'll see more, but I'm still kind of.
But again, this is just one of the pygmies. He covers a bunch of them.
I'm sure I'm going to agree with some of his pygmy takes.
Melanie Mac in particular.
Oh yeah, she's definitely what you call a pygmy, but she's an interesting pygmy.
What that was like.
It was surreal.
Are you dumb?
Sweeney very easily could have denied the accusations of her trying to advocate for white supremacy and eugenics during this interview, but instead she just doubled down and didn't really try to distance herself from it at all. So as a result, because of this interview, any doubt of her trying to advocate for that and cater exclusively to a right-wing audience pretty much disappeared instantly when this interview aired. This essentially cemented her reputation as an anti-woke pick-me girl that doesn't really care at all about other women and simply wants to cater towards anti-woke gooners, which was quite a big mistake on her part. When you look at
I mean, the way she looks, I think she'll take any gooners.
I mean, again, keep going again. Her movies,
box office numbers for all of her movies from this year. While Cindy did have quite a bit of success in film and TV previously because of her trying to double down on catering towards this specific audience who doesn't really care about art house films at all, none of them actually showed up to watch those films at all, since ultimately they only care about
I don't think Sydney Sweeney really thinks about any of these things. Probably not. She's probably she probably just goes and does her thing and the checks roll in. Gooners don't care about art house movies. Yeah, very true, very true.
Body and gooning to her. This isn't the kind of crowd that's gonna care about niche, independent, director-driven films. So as a result, every film she made this year ended up being a massive box office flop. I think this really goes to show just how drastically being a pick-me can really affect someone's career and ultimately their longevity as well. Sure, there absolutely can be short-term benefits for leaning into this sort of trend in the moment, like it is often for a lot of anti-woke riffs in general. But ultimately, just like channels like Geeks and Gamers, Clownfish TV, and others who tried to directly lean into this anti-woke trend, this really didn't work out well for Cindy in the long run at all. Now it's honestly looking pretty uncertain whether she'll actually be able to make a comeback in the greater film and TV scene in general. I guess time will tell, but for now, her reputation as an anti-woke pick-me girl has definitely put her in a pretty precarious position. The audience she's cultivated for herself just doesn't care about the kinds of films she wants to put out. And that's really what happens oftentimes with these pick-me's, or really any kind of grifter overall. Once you cultivate this audience and make this your entire shtick, you can't really move to anything else more meaningful or actually worthwhile afterward. Your audience that you cultivate.
So yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from, Noah, where she had an audience that she was building with the the types of movies that she was making, and kind of turning away from that audience or whatever backlash she was getting very well may have affected it. Sydney Sweeney will bring everyone together when she is chosen to play the 50-foot woman. I mean, I might go watch that movie. So yeah, I mean, I can see it.
Yeah, I'm on that one. I'm lost on that one.
Yeah. Last I checked, Sydney Sweeney's only good role was her character in Euphoria. I don't know. My wife really enjoyed The Handmaiden's Tale. And her in it, but,
wasn't she just a side character or something in that one?
I don't know. No, I thought she was the main. Maybe she was a side character. So yeah.
No, whatever. We got more of them to get to.
Yeah, they don't care about art house movies. So what she needs to do is start making this is gonna age me, Porky's style movies, if anyone knows what Porky's is.
Oh my god, why? Okay, no. I might be younger than you, but I know what the fuck Porky is. I'm an old soul, and then again, I know what Porky is because my mother knows what it is.
That's an odd thing to say.
My mother used to watch Monty Python and laugh her ass off.
Oh, I love me some Monty Python
when she was young. So it's yeah, trust me. There's a lot of stuff I know that you know of because of her.
Or even National Lampoons. She should bring National Lampoons back and just start starring
that one I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's a series of movies that really don't have any connection to each other, but they're usually fairly some of them are not, but some of them are very Chevy Chase, very sexual in nature in some ways. Or what's the never mind. I'm getting into the past. We need to get moving on. National Lampoons is a series of comedies. Yeah,
get on with it, old man. Get on with it.
It is simply
We're
there
only
for
through
the
the first
riff,
pick
and
me.
if you try to do anything else, any actual content, they'll just move away. I think it's also a reason why you often see a lot of these pick-me girls just end up going into crypto scams by the end of their career as well. That's what ended up happening with the Hawtua girl and Cooking with Kaya, who ended up making their careers catering towards this exact kind of gooner audience as well and hating other women, and then trying a last-ditch effort to create a big crypto scam only for that to backfire horribly and then having to file for bankruptcy, which is exactly what happened to both of these people. Cooking with Kaya got it pretty bad in particular, being one of those trad wife types on TikTok who was making pretty awful
We love trad wives here.
I mean, this one though, I'll be honest with you, this was one I never heard of until Noah brought her up. Like legit, I did not know who this one was.
Yeah. This could be any account. Hawk to a Girl was astroturfed as fuck.
Oh yeah, and when, I swear to God, whenever I have a couple of friends in some of the VA servers that I'm in that actually meme with it about that, and I look at that and I just roll my eyes every single time.
Yeah. I mean, I once I saw that she was getting in bed with like Logan Paul and all them, I was like, yeah, she's done. She's not gonna make it. There's gonna be a crypto, and she's gonna be out. And what happened?
One hole.
Oh,
working
man.
constantly on camera and ended up
Cooking
making a
with Kai.
short-term killing off of doing this, and then within a year ended up filing for bankruptcy, having blown all of that money entirely. Wow,
What a
alright then,
surprise.
clearly it pays to be a pick-me. But speaking of tradwife types, I think another really interesting example of the pick-me girl
My
would be none
favorite.
other than Darling Straub, the
My
anti-woke
boy.
VTuber. For those
My
unaware, Darling Straub is
favorite.
the wife of another
Darling's-
anti-woke
yeah, of
VTuber,
course,
Rev
'cause
Says
it's
Desu, who I've
anime.
covered here before.
Oh, it's his wife.
Rev is a
Red's wife.
VTuber who
It's
claims to
Red's
be
wife.
anti-censorship, but really only
No wonder. Yeah, it's your favorite. Did she teach dim yet people how season 2 to food? I think she did. Rev says Lolly.
he cares about censorship
Rev
when it's
says, "I love
censoring
you."
lolly designs,
Rev
and he
says,
doesn't
BBC.
actually care about any other kind of censorship at all in the anime industry. If there's ever an example of censorship in the anime industry that comes up and is widely talked about, he will often intentionally ignore it and only talk about it when it comes to lolly designs. So really, Rev isn't actually anti-censorship, he's just pro-lolly. And he's also come under fire in previous memory for endorsing a meme that was hinting at a lolicon hentai, which is pretty bad.
A thread that's going to separate the veterans of degeneracy from the innocents. So here's the thread,
thing, though.
an original
Okay,
piece
okay,
of
all
pause
right.
it real quick. Like, Noah, this video is old as fuck. Like, and a lot of people know about this, and most people, whether it be like, most people in the anime community don't actually give a shit about this sort of stuff. Like, I don't care about it. Most people in Rev's audience don't care about it. They actually probably agree with it and wish that he would go back to making this sort of content, because back then, at least he was entertaining. But again, it's like if you really wanted to go like dig, like really take the knife and twist it, you should have brought up that whole situation where he was ERPing on his main Twitter with a Nazi femboy.
Oh no.
Yeah, if you really wanted to like take the knife and just twist it.
Yeah, that's who you go. Gotta hate him so much for this. Censorship sucks, but Rev doesn't care about the greater issues with censorship. He only cares when it's lolly stuff. So much other stuff gets censored, but he won't care. Oh, okay. Next video then. Get with Simon. He's number one.
When it comes to being a Rev hater, I am a professional.
Yeah, he's number one Rev hater.
But yeah, I actually briefly covered it in my video of talking about Kershey and Rev.
Mm-hmm.
Like I believe it's like my second most popular. I think it's like my first or second most popular video on my channel. Like if you actually want to kind of know more about it, it is like a segment in that video.
Okay. I feel like the lolly stuff is directly pandering to his audience. If he had a different opinion, he'd lose a bunch of folks. That seems to be like a regular theme. I feel.
That's another thing too. A lot of people are actually saying one of the mutuals who I know, I'm not going to name drop them because privacy reasons. They actually were an editor for Straub at a certain point, and even they are thinking that Rev doesn't actually give a fuck about the lolly discussion anymore, and that he's just using it as a gimmick to keep that portion of his audience on his side.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about
it's just a business brand, a gimmick for him at this point. That's what I'm guessing, but there's no actual proof behind that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. We see it over and over and over again. This is why Synthetic Man plays Blue Archive at times, just because he knows people in his audience enjoy it. That's fair.
I mean, Tectone is another good example of that. He's actually outing himself as a hypocrite again with the whole new Blue Archive drama that's happening right now. Anyways, keep going.
Yes, let's keep
Barb
going.
posted on the official HoloLive subreddit. To sum this up, if you know, you know. But in case you don't know, or if you want to sit back and reminisce for a few seconds if you do, this artwork is a reference to Shoujo Ramune. What is that, one might ask? It's a cute anime about a couple of adolescents learning about life, doing some idol training, having some yogurt, hanging out at bus stops. A very wholesome slice of life anime. Okay, so it's a very popular lolly on hentai.
But even despite all this, Rev's wife is also a really interesting subject in of herself. She initially got her start doing ASMR girlfriend roleplays on her main channel. Much like Rev himself though, Straub came under a lot of controversy as time went on, especially when she started posting things like saying lolly pussy hits different. And also posting under that, well,
again, and that was back when she was actually very... Like, yeah, she was very pro this stuff as well to a certain extent. And here's the thing. Most people in their communities don't really give a shit about that.
Yeah, but I do. Well, I mean, I don't...
I mean, I get it, dude. I understand. You used to be one of those wood chipper type of guys, okay? I get it.
Yes, very much so. I still lean that way sometimes. Wholesome slice of life that is made specifically for grown men. Oh, just please, just one round now.
If I get canceled for this tweet, I hope so. Wow, real classy there, Straub. That's really funny. You could be Comedian of the Year. Who said female comedians aren't funny? It's also even worse when you realize the fact that Straub is saying all this stuff about kids and is actually in elementary school.
Pause it for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Noah, I actually made a joke like back before she actually blocked me on Twitter, basically like pulling out the whole Harley Quinn Joker. No, women aren't funny, and she actually got so pissy at me over that. Because no, she's not funny. Straub is the furthest thing from funny. She's the furthest thing from entertaining when you actually think about it.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme too with these guys. Yeah, we're talking about lolly and specifically pick-me lollies. Strawberry is so easily to offend. Some people have really thin skin when they talk a lot of shit until you start talking back.
Oh no, that's the entire MO of Rev. Like Rev loves to talk shit to people. He loves to punch down, but as soon as people start clapping back at him, oh no, I'm getting canceled. I'm a victim. I'm getting canceled by influencers in the industry. Like I remember when he went after one particular VA, which is really when I started to turn on him, because I was actually friends with that VA at the time. And the entire VA community just turned around and clapped back at him. Oh. And he was playing victim like a little bitch, saying that all these VAs were well-known figures in the anime voice acting industry. Like, buddy, do you know how much influence voice actors actually have?
Probably
they have no fucking influence. They have as much influence and clout as you do, if not less, unless they're massive names like, I don't know, freaking Roger Craig Smith or Nolan North.
Yeah. I mean, most people don't really. Most of these guys don't really know how industries work. Not that I claim to know, but you just tell the way they talk about it.
Rev doesn't know shit about anything. He doesn't know how anything works. He's just a fucking grifter.
Yeah, fair enough. I gotta say Egad's little line because I really like this little one. I'm an unapologetically a wood chipper person. I'm very chipper.
Very chipper.
Let's keep going.
School teacher herself.
Be a teacher. I went to school to be a teacher.
Oh, excuse me.
You'd make a great teacher.
Aw, thank you.
You say like you feel like you're a teacher sometimes when you're streaming.
I do sometimes too.
Really? Oh, because you're talking to a group of people.
Yeah, talking to a group of people, and like, I don't know, when you're handling like
teacher equals talking to a group of people. Yeah, good.
If little scuffles happen, it kind of feels like when you're like handling kids in school, like, okay, stop fighting, you know, like in the Discord server.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Jesus Christ, if I was the prince.
You won the Smash giveaway? Oh, I didn't realize I needed to log in right now. I thought it was happening.
Who won the Smash giveaway?
Damn it, Sector did. Let's go. Hold on. We may be running a little late on stream today. All right, I will go look at it later. You got to send me a clip of you winning.
I hope he remembers you, man. I hope he remembers you for all the fucking shit posting you were doing.
He Damage actually has a fairly decent relationship with Smash, even though he shits on him. Yeah, he talks to Smash on the back end sometimes and asks him questions about some of his takes. So Damage is like the day walker, or the anti-woke walker, we should say. But let's continue with this, or I'm going to be here all night.
Principal of that school, I would want Straub and Rev far away from every kid on that premise. This is like the worst possible scenario here. Oh, but the lolly-loving fun doesn't stop there, because at one point, Straub ended up gifting Rev a lolly review book for his birthday. And they ended up reading it on video together as well.
We got here. My girlfriend bought me some literature. I don't know if this can go in the video.
Why does he say it that way? It's so creepy.
But goddamn.
Yan, don't.
Read it. Come on, ASMR style too.
Yan, don't shove.
It's Yoon.
Please stop.
It's so cramped in here.
My God.
Noah, why did you put all that in here?
Wow, Rev and Straub have to be the couple with the most visible L's since Harry and Meghan. This is so freaking awful. At one point, Straub was even caught defending the cunning VTuber Shondo, who got banned off Twitch for degenerate behavior, and rightfully so. She was intentionally trying to cater towards a very degenerate and very gross child-loving audience by making streams like this.
Plop, 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 sex, cunny, sex, cunny.
Wow, that's definitely a big yikes and certainly deserved to be banned off Twitch, but
I'm going to say something real quick regarding this. Like, here's the thing with that part. I'm not sure if this is that exact situation, because Shondo is infamous for getting banned left, right, and center for a multitude of things. But I do remember talking to Noah in DMs regarding this. I think the reason why she got banned for that particular instance was because she basically joked about wanting to off herself and was drunk on stream. But again, that could have been like a completely different situation. So I could be tripping. I could be referring to another situation. But all I know is that when it comes to Shondo, she's notorious for getting banned for a multitude of reasons. So this could have been one of them. This could have been one of those instances. So I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
When it comes to the whole Shondo stuff, Noah, be kind of careful with that, because she is notorious for getting banned for several reasons, sometimes getting unjustly banned.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
Fortunately for Straub, she tried to defend this behavior. This caused even more scrutiny to be cast upon her, and also, not long after this, she ended up being made fun of on stream at one point by one random person who said her fingers were fat. And this caused her to crash out very hard on Twitter, of all things, over one random commenter saying her fingers were fat. Like, come on, people say this kind of stuff on streams all the time, you can just ignore it. It's very clear the only reason Straub was crashing out over this on Twitter was because she wanted to draw attention away from her defending Shondo. The L's were certainly beginning to pile up for Straub quite a bit, and her career as an anti-woke ASMR pick-me girl is beginning to look a lot more precarious. In a similar vein, her husband Rev was also in a pretty precarious situation as well, and he was beginning to become very controversial as well. This actually resulted in them being dropped from Makeship, which is a plushie company that they both been partnered with for about
Vincent said figures Simon would be here for this. It's the only reason he's here is for this section, right?
Yeah, for this section.
So as a result,
Melanie Mac section that I also want to kind of like add some more stuff regarding that, because there's stuff I'm surprised Noah did not cover.
Yeah,
Their controversies beginning to affect them and their careers as content creators individually, both of them finally decided to come together and do the Christian grift. Oh boy, don't you just love it when anti-woke YouTubers end up doing this? It works so well for Tectone. So yeah, as of me making this video, Straub's content now comprises of her doing ASMR videos of Bible verses. Oh boy. And she continues to try and plow forward on anti-woke grifting as well, despite the fact that, funny enough, 2 years ago, she was actually clowning on Heel versus Babyface for his really stupid Starfield pronouns rant. That's right, the woman who currently complains about woke stuff in games and tries to act like a high and mighty Christian was clowning on Heel versus Baby.
And here's the thing, okay, here's the thing. Straub was known to be ultra fucking progressive. Like, and this is the part that pisses me off to no extent when it comes to Straub, because if you're at all familiar with her stance and what she used to believe in, what she used to think, like, her Christian grift is as fake as plastic tits on a $20 hooker.
So
because she was ultra progressive, more so than Rev ever was. If anything, she was probably somewhat his voice of reason to a certain extent.
Yeah, so
but then somehow she managed to become more radical than him.
Yeah, so it just sounds like the Tectone thing, where Tectone's suddenly a Christian now.
But it sounds like the whole Melanie Mac thing, but worse.
Well, so
but worse. Here's the VTubing scene.
Yeah, here's my pretty much take with Melanie Mac. I do believe Melanie Mac is a born-again Christian. She talks like born-again Christians I've met before.
Melanie Mac is also a psycho too. You also have to remember that.
Yeah. Very, very clearly is. But so that, that's kind of where it comes from there. But yeah, it sounds like the Strawbee, whatever you want to call her, is just grifting the Christian grift because of reasons.
Babyface, no, I am not making this up. The hypocrisy is absolutely real. So now Straub has tried to appeal to a conservative Christian audience now by claiming she and Rev are both Christians now with her being a conservative Christian pick-me, apparently. And she's also gone ahead and posted daily Bible verses and also really awful-looking food, not gonna lie. I think instead of grifting, she should take some cooking classes. Holy crap. This is even worse than the stuff Cooking with Kaya was coming up with. And ultimately, despite her claims that she is a Christian, Straub really isn't a Christian whatsoever. She and Rev constantly still try to create harassment campaigns around people they just simply don't like. If Straub or Rev had actually read the Bible, they would know that one of the 10 commandments is do not spread false witness against thy neighbor. And that means don't join your husband in lying about ProZD and acting like he's the boogeyman of the voice acting industry, Straub. One of the most famous verses in the Bible is Matthew 7:12, which is
like, I'm not sure if you wargame, if you're actually familiar with that wargaming, but that whole thing was proven to be complete bullshit.
Oh,
Rev and this whole story with him was parroted so much over an out of context clip that Rev purposefully cropped out and left a bunch of important context to it to make it sound like he was saying this regarding voice acting. So this whole bullshit with ProZD started with Rev.
Gotcha.
And the lie was parroted so many times that it eventually became true.
And that's unfortunate when it happens on the internet, because that's generally how it works. Is it happens so often, or once it's been said, it doesn't just go away and it gets spread and spread and spread. It's real effed up because some young Christian men buy into it and get deceived by it. Yeah, that's what I think irritates me more than anything. Coming from a Southern Baptist background, you read the Bible and you learn Jesus's tenets and things and I'm a terrible Christian. I'm not going to admit that I'm the perfect Christian. I never memorize anything, much less Bible verses. But yeah, you see these people go down this road where they think this is okay, and you get almost to the levels of like Westboro Baptist Church levels, right? Have I heard of Nala Ray? I have not heard of Nala Ray. The Monster and Starbucks drinks. What's wrong with a Monster? I had to stop taking them because I'm old.
I mean, nothing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Monster, but Starbucks.
That's my wife's place. That's where she likes to go. And every now and again, like I will only get one around the Christmas season because I like me some mint.
Whatever, keep going.
Which is commonly known as the golden rule. This verse states, do to others whatever you would like them to do unto you. And this is a verse.
She was on OnlyFans for a time and then became a Christian supposedly, but never deleted her OnlyFans. So yeah, just a fake Christian, right? One thing that I hate about like Christian YouTubers, or at least in like these anti-woke or right sects, is like the whole point of a lot of Christianity is everyone sins. You talk about when they talk about you should never think of another woman other than your wife. It's more of like it's an impossible task. You can't just stop thinking thoughts that come into your head instantly. So everyone's a sinner. Everyone gets off of this. But if you become a born again Christian and you don't get rid of the sins in some form or way, are you really a Christian? Coke speak? Like which kind? The drink or
verse that Straub conveniently always ignores constantly.
Jez is a Coke girl. I'm a Pepsi guy. So yeah, whatever. That's what she's referring to.
So she has it right. Because I'm
fuck
Coke
up.
Zero.
What do you mean she has it right? She has it right. They're both brown drinks. Fuck off, man.
Christ is a king is a dog whistle for Groypers. I mean, Coke is just superior in every single way. You can't deny it. They like Dr. Pepper the most.
No. Yeah, Pepsi, man. Fuck off.
I had a buddy in my unit that he was all about some Dr. Pepper. That's his drink of choice.
All right, anyways, keep going off topic.
And harassment campaigns for various people that she just doesn't like. And also, it should probably go without saying, but defending lollipop isn't exactly something the Bible is keen on either. Ultimately, Straub is a pretty blatant.
Yeah, that's something that I will never get over, and I will keep saying it.
Oh, wow.
Like, pick a fucking lane. Are you
right?
Lollicons? Or are you bumping Bible thumping shitheads?
Right.
Like, because here's the thing, if they went to a church, to any fucking like church that isn't their little echo chamber that they're in, and told them that they were into lolly hentai, chances are most of the people in those super highly conservative church that they're in, because apparently they live in a red state, they would say, wood chipper?
Yeah, right. That would be the instant thing if they brought up lolly.
And that's the thing. Like, and that's the part that annoys me. It's like these guys they're pro lolly, but at the same time they're trying to get on board with a grift and an ideology that is completely against that.
It's because it's like the popular thing to do, I guess, at those points. And
again, yeah. But at this point, it's like pick a lane. At this point, what do you want to be? Christian fundamentalists or lolicon enthusiasts?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and Vincent, I'm from the Bible Belt. Like, I'm not that far, south in Florida. We call it everything Coke here. It's all Coke. If you're at a store, at a restaurant, and they only have Pepsi, you say, "Can I have a Coke?" Not gonna lie,
here in Quebec, you know what we say?
What?
Ici c'est Pepsi.
Not gonna lie, I met real Christians who act more chill than both of them. Yeah, absolutely. I've met some much more Christian people than me that are chill and even have dark humor and stuff like that.
Here's the thing. I got nothing against Christians myself. I've met a bunch of people who are religious that are super chill.
Yeah, but we can equally hate these fake Christians. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, we can equally hate these fucking assholes. How about that? Because that's what they are. They're assholes.
That's right.
pick me who, just like her husband Rev, wants to say things about people without actually having to face the consequences of doing so. And if anything, she's really just outed herself even more as a pick me by going on this big Christian grift. Someone else who very notably did this as another pick me girl would be Melanie Mack. Melanie Mack is a pretty infamous pick-me who, funny enough, is even despised by anti-woke people as well. And ultimately, it's this sort of thing that...
Well, that's a more recent development, right?
Well, she's completely gone off the platform now. Like, she's off of YouTube.
Yeah, I heard. So YouTube as well. I thought it was just X that she was off of.
No, she's done. Like, she's completely gone off the radar.
Wow. I mean, honestly, that's probably best. Someone in her life may have said, hey, why don't you step back? So I hope the best for her.
But at the same time, you also have to remember her channel was dead. Like, she was getting it from every side. The progressives didn't like her. The anti-wokes didn't like her. Fuck, Fritanka made a video on him and Razor Fist, and he just fucking fisted her so hard.
You know, it's
like no mercy on this poor girl.
Yeah,
and
funny thing is,
well deserved too, because fuck Melanie Mack.
Yeah, she was well, something else you say. Funny enough, one of my first like culture war videos was about her downfall and her, you know, when this fracture happened with her and everyone turned against her.
But she was probably like the first example of like the anti-woke turning on each other.
Yeah, first example of it, definitely.
Cost Melanie her career as a content creator overall, since now she's officially left YouTube altogether. I think out of all the pick me girls I've already talked about in this video, she actually had the quickest crash and burn for her career in general, since people caught on pretty quickly to what she was doing, even on the anti-woke side. However, she is the same person that was cheering on heel versus babyface's infamous Starfield rant, so I think you can already probably see where this is gonna go.
F off! You're boring!
Can't nobody rant like as just absolute legend of rants, the king of rants. And he says what a lot of us are thinking, and just in his amazing way.
Yeah, that rant was really base, wasn't it, Melanie? Wow. Nothing cooler than a 50-year-old man throwing it.
She sounds like she sounds like when she's like talking, she's just she's trying to come up with words that match this anti-woke statement on how he's based. Melanie cheering on a lolcow. Yeah, it's golden. John F. Trent, I don't know how anyone could take his reporting on that Park Place seriously. Does he still do that Park Place? I thought he was ostracized and on the same as and moved over with EGAD and JDA and them. No, he is still on the Park Place. That whole website is a mess. I don't even think the owners of it are real. I think they're like AI. He's over at Bounding in Comics now. Gotcha.
Temper tantrum about pronouns in a video game, definitely something to aspire to. Not too long ago, Melanie actually made a video about Lara Croft's design in the Dead by Daylight game. Let's see what she had to say.
So Dead by Daylight dropped more Lara Croft skins in the game. I don't know what's going on because I thought that Lara Croft wasn't staying in the game. Maybe she is. That was a rumor. But she looks worse than ever in these new images. And I have to show you guys, I don't know what is going on. Clearly, this is also partially Crystal Dynamics' fault because I mean, they give them the assets, they tell them what they want it to look like. So this is entirely Crystal Dynamics' fault. I said Lara Croft isn't allowed to be beautiful anymore. Look what they did to her, which as you can see, this is in the classic remasters. This is Lara Croft looking as she should. Beautiful, womanly, feminine. There's that. And then you have this. What did they even do? And what is up with those proportions? I thought that perhaps Crystal Dynamics learned
for Daylight.
how proportions work, because for some reason they don't.
Maybe do you first.
And it's so stupid too, because they kind of have to give them a lot of the characters in Dead by Daylight certain proportions because of the hitboxes.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it really comes down to.
Especially when it's a very like highly competitive game and like is known to have a very toxic player base.
She has Melanie's proportions. That's funny. Melanie Mac made a pretty good Lara Croft, though, even though she's, not as endowed to do the part.
Soy Croft.
Yeah, Soy Croft.
No basic proportions, and that people typically aren't built like this. This is an abnormality.
Okay, let's be real here. Are people generally built like old Lara Croft either, though? Her classic design is absolutely iconic, but like, are most women really gonna look like that? She does have a number of features that could be considered exaggerated. Not that that's a bad thing, but like, it's still not a very realistic character design still. So it's interesting she gets mad at the Dead by Daylight design for not looking quote-unquote realistic, when really the original design doesn't necessarily either. I think you could argue the only time that Lara has looked specifically realistic were in the reboot duology of Tomb Raider games.
There's more, but wait, guys. So here you have this. What even is that? That's not Lara Croft. I don't get it. It's some people are, there's actually a couple of there's one comment that's like, oh, this looks like Survivor Lara's face too. I love it. It doesn't. Even the reboot Lara's face looked better than that. What is this? This looks like fan art. This does not look like Lara Croft at all. And why is her mouth open but she has no teeth? What is going on?
Okay, first of all, just because her teeth...
I saved the clip. I'll upload them tomorrow. I didn't accept the game because I can afford my own and told him to redraw so someone in need can have a chance. That's so sweet of you, Damage Sector, but it is still incredibly funny that you won.
Teeth aren't visible in this painting doesn't mean they aren't there at all. Secondly, I find it interesting that Melanie seems to think that both Lara's design here and also in the reboot games was totally uglified. When, interestingly enough, if you look at some of her earlier videos, which mysteriously have been unlisted, you find the opposite mentality.
I'm gonna start off just talking about the character model because that was a big thing for me.
Look at the background.
Like the exact same character model. So the character model, big win for me. Lara Croft, make a beautiful character and make her uglier. Make her look more and more plain. But I can speak for an improved Lara, both like physically. In the cutscene, Lara looks great. I really like Lara's character model overall. And in the cutscene, she looked great. You gotta love her, man.
Wow, she looked so less crazy.
So, again, this is going to... So again, to OtterlyNoah on this one, like Melanie Mac at this point is a dead horse. At this point, it's like there's really not much left to like cover since she's pretty much gone off the internet. But there's two things I'm surprised that you didn't bring up in this particular video regarding the part about Melanie Mac. First off, the fact that her husband divorced her for another dude.
Yeah.
First off, because that's one of the main reasons why she kind of went ape shit and became a Christian fundamentalist to some extent. And the second part, that she used to be a massive Jeff Keighley's bootlicker.
Really?
Oh yeah, Fritanga actually made the video regarding that, and that was like on the end of the part. She used to be close to Jeff Keighley's and actually would get into interviews with him.
Yeah, I do remember the Jeff stuff.
Okay, so he does remember that. So you do know, or you are aware of that Jeff Keighley stuff. So
they got divorced. The husband remarried. So is that completely false that he left her for a gay guy?
Is that completely false or is it not? Because last I checked, it wasn't.
I like conflicting information. We'll have to find out because that's what the story has been.
So it was.
Yes, it's completely false. Okay, that's fair enough.
It's completely false. It's completely false, really. Okay, I guess we'll have to look that up. Okay.
Yeah. You did a video on it too, or? Oh yes, I did a video on it too. Egad's a good source. He definitely goes into it. I'll send you the video I did on this. Yeah, send it to me. I'll take a look at it.
All right. Well, at least he knows about the Jeff Keighley stuff. But again, I'm surprised you didn't bring that part up because that's like kind of like. Everybody, when they bring that part up, it tends to like be like a drop kick to the face for her.
Yeah. I think, well, it could be then if it's false, if they're saying that, she may want to not acknowledge the divorce. There could be many things going on in the background for that. And that's never a fun process.
And you gotta love her.
Dude, I love her. Yeah, dude, I love her. She just makes this. She makes the game. I can just honestly say they freaking did it right.
So, Melanie went from glazing Lara's design in all the Tomb Raider reboot games to just 5 years later saying it's ugly out of nowhere. Gee, I wonder what could have spiked up between 2018 and 2025 to make Melanie start saying this and magically change her opinion. There's no way she was grifting and trying to profit off the culture war, right? Right?
Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns!
Despite quite literally having the opposite opinion and that being on record not even that long ago, Melanie has suddenly shifted things just because it's profitable now. Wow, this woman is a sellout. She's decided to join all the other grifters that have tried to comment about the uglification of women in video games just because it's profitable now. Yeah, real slick change there, Mel.
Now, if they made a version of her that is objectively more beautiful than this, that's still not the goal. The goal is that she needs to look like herself. And she looks beautiful. She has very characteristic features. She's got full lips, so she should have her full lips. She's got she just has her curvy athletic build.
Her boobs are too round, they need to be triangle.
Like and if they want to make her more realistic looking and less stylized art, you can do that. We have a blueprint. Look.
What was that?
Bring back the OG triangle titties.
That's right. That's right. The real.
I need them curves.
Yeah, I need
all 16 polygon. All 16 polygon.
I need them triangles, baby, with jiggle physics.
Look at Angelina Jolie, who has a bunch of her features.
So this is an argument I already debunked in my previous Spider-Man video, but no, Angelina Jolie actually had to wear bra padding in the Tomb Raider movie. She made it very clear to the crew when joining the cast for that film that she didn't have the same bust size as Lara Croft. So as a result, they had to find a workaround and ended up giving her bra padding during the filming of that movie.
And that's the problem. She needs to look like herself. Why is that too much to ask? But for some reason, Crystal Dynamics is just super opposed to that. So here we have her in the game here, which I guess it's a little bit better lighting, but still, it's just not like, if you were to see this, would you know that was Lara Croft? I mean, not unless you've played Rise of the Tomb Raider and you know all of the
Melanie Mac looks like a gothic waifu, not really what you think about when you think of a trad Christian woman. Yeah, but when you get into some of these, like some of these born again Christians and things like that, that had rougher lives going on, you tend to see people with more tattoos, people with still have some of that style that they had before. She's, from my understanding, she's a born again Christian. She wasn't a Christian to begin with. And that, I mean, it could be complete bullshit as well. Also, Melanie Mac is 40 years old. What are you trying to say, Egad? What are you trying to say?
Unk.
Waif?
She's
read that word for me. Waif. Yeah, she is.
Waifu.
No. The WAIF. I have no idea to pronounce it.
Waif.
War simping for Mac. Listen, I'm a married man. That's all I gotta say. All right.
Also, I'm pretty sure you do appreciate all versions of Lara Croft, babe. Pretty sure you do.
Yep.
Outfits, and you're a fan of specifically Rise of the Tomb Raider, but if you would be thinking of Lara Croft as in classic Lara Croft, there's no way you would make that connection with this. It doesn't look like her. It just looks like generic combat gear girl, right? And then here you have this again.
We're giving. What is B? I'm guessing you meant D. We're giving Dad love some mac and cheese.
What is up with those proportions?
Well, it looks like her classic outfit to me, Melanie. I think anyone could recognize that, even if she doesn't have the same proportions.
Basically means
but
woman.
Clearly, she's too.
Basically means woman who looks like she's emaciated or somewhat weathered. like, oh, I need to save this poor girl kind of look. I gotcha. I could see that. Yeah, I could see the I could fix her energy.
Too ugly.
You thought the typo would enhance the joke. Fuck you, David Sector.
Like you were saying when you magically swapped your opinion about the reboot trilogy.
And I feel like this is the best characterization we've had of Lara ever. I can say that confidently. This version of Lara is the most well-rounded personality that we've ever seen in any Tomb Raider game in the history of time.
This is generally the base definition of someone who is a grifter, someone who will say something they don't even believe, which in this case Melanie very obviously is, just for profit. Another anti-woke pick-me girl that I think is worth talking about briefly, but not spending too much time on for obvious reasons, is none other than Jester Bell. I tend to avoid covering Jester Bell at all.
Dildo Saggins, as a lot of people
on this
Oh, good. I'm excited to learn new things.
Since honestly she's incredibly obnoxious, and it's always incredibly clear that she has no idea what she's talking about in any of her videos. For those unaware who Jester Bell is, she's somebody who attempts to LARP as a media critic and is also the sister of somebody who works for Ben Shapiro, which already is a great mark of quality there, clearly. She tries to cover different movies, usually movies made by Disney, and rants about them without really having a script or any talking points whatsoever, and often blatantly copies talking points from other channels more popular than her. In fact, she's admitted to doing this in the past when talking about the movie Elio and claiming that she got all her talking points from the channel Film Thread.
Some might even say that it gave them the feels and is not as bad as its throttled marketing would suggest, but I'm here to tell you that those critics are wrong. Elio might be one of the worst, if not the worst, Pixar movies ever made.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Oh, that's a classic.
Now, I heard a review going into this video that also called Elio the worst Pixar movie ever made. And that video really just narrowed in on the animation and how this movie completely abandons basic animation and filmmaking principles. Now, if you have done any sort of filmmaking or filmmaking study at all, as I have done, then you will know this very basic rule, the rule of thirds.
The guy who took Michael Eisner's
Yeah, I want to say that I watched something with Ant covering this chick. Now that I'm hearing the Elio stuff,
board pictures, taught us how to take pictures the Disney way, and it wasn't even the Disney way; it was the professional way. And the first thing they taught us, and if any of you know anything about art, you'll understand what this is. But it's called the rule of thirds.
Boo this man!
Wow, imagine already being a joke of a channel, but making yourself an even bigger joke by getting your talking points from Chris Gore of all people. Wow. The Rift is absolutely real. On top of looking like the zombified corpse of a Walmart Karen, Jester Bell is just incredibly obnoxious with the way she talks and behaves constantly. Unlike the
Elio, it's not a bad little movie. It's I know it because my kids have watched it. It's just a kid who believes in aliens, and he actually contacts them, pretends to be it's a perfectly fine movie. Pretends to be the ambassador of Earth. He meets an alien friend who's it's a Pixar or is it? I don't remember what company made it. It's a very typical child movie of this day and age.
I'm pretty sure it's Pixar.
I'm pretty sure it's Pixar too. Yeah, it's very common. Like there's nothing really special about it. It's just a cute little movie.
If no one says it's Pixar, I believe him. He's more engrossed into this type of stuff than I am.
Yeah.
First pick me girl that I talked about in this video, Jester Bell doesn't even have the luxury of being conventionally attractive and just has to try to rant and whine constantly in every one of her videos. And as you can probably imagine, this doesn't really go over well with most folks, even those who are anti-woke. She very desperately tries to appeal to this audience, but even then it actually doesn't often work. So her crash and burn story is actually...
Yeah, I agree. Acting like it's the worst Pixar movie ever is kind of insane. I've watched it. It's really not that bad.
Pretty simple, and not really that interesting, and she's pretty annoying, so I'm just gonna move on here. The last one I want to talk about is Snarky J, who is kind of uninteresting in herself as well, but also had a sort of an interesting start at the very least. Snarky J is a cosplayer who initially got her start on YouTube by talking about the show Book of Boba Fett. But after initially just making her opinions on things like She-Hulk or Book of Boba Fett, she inevitably went down the anti-woke rabbit hole. Wow, shocker. And she ended up making such hood classic videos like how 90s movies are better than 2000s flops apparently. Ah yes, because clearly mainstream American films, since clearly she's never seen any foreign films or any independent films, because let's face it, she's not going to talk about that or care about that at all peaked in the 90s, even though really it peaked in the 70s, because that was the revival period for film in general. But of course, Snarky J isn't old enough, nor is she cultured enough to really realize that. Shocker. It's very clear, even just doing a brief...
How dare you, Noah? How dare you? She's obviously very cultured.
Skim of her channel that she's not really aware of what to talk about at all when it comes to media.
Yeah.
Heck, she's not even sure what content to make, period, since she's made 9 different videos reading mean comments she gets on her videos. Like, come on, really?
She even does the lip thing. she's just trying to bank off of her beauty. You can look at the pictures.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I never really got like the appeal for like reading hater comments. Like, I get it. It's kind of like funny to point and laugh at that sort of stuff. But when you make like a bunch of videos like related to that, it's kind of lame. Like, not gonna lie. Like, one video like that every once in a blue moon, by all means, go ahead. But every like 9 or 5, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know that I would ever even do that, but 9 videos on that, yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't even know that I would ever do that. Like, hater comments are for me, right? I mean, the occasional one.
I mean, hater comments, if it's just somebody being stupid and calling you whatever and not making any sense and just clearly just coming in to be like a hater, little comments like that aren't worth it. But when they're actually trying to make a point, but their point is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are fun to respond to.
Sure. You might be able to do it that way. Like, I don't think it's something I personally wouldn't do, right? It's kind of like the same thing when Noah just says here is like, who cares, really? But
that's why Twitter exists.
Yeah, exactly.
This is next level pathetic behavior. This is like when Tactical Templar was reading his own Kiwi Farms thread. This is such a low-cal move. In general, while Snarky J hasn't had as clear of a crash and burn as the other people I've discussed, she honestly still isn't doing that great either, and it's very obvious what people are actually watching her for. And no, it's not her very insightful, deep
Really, Noah? Really?
Takes on media. Overall, it's very clear being a pick-me.
He was clearly showing off her brain.
Unfortunately, is not the way to go for most of these people, given just how blatant of a crash and burn the majority of them had. Sydney Sweeney's career as an actress is pretty uncertain now. Rev says Dessa's wife, Straub, is pretty much just seen as a lolcow.
Yeah, it's very recently, Gad, that he got his lolcow thread, his Kiwi Farms thread, and the moment he found out about it, he immediately went on stream and started reading it.
I really like Straub is pretty much just lolcow status at this point, because here's the thing, like, nobody actually takes her seriously, and the only reason why she's somewhat semi-relevant nowadays is just because she's married to Rev, which Rev in and of himself is like a lolcow these days as well.
Yeah. Yeah, of course she has a brain, Jasmine. Didn't you just see it? We can go back and take a look. No.
Melody Mac has straight up left YouTube, and the other two are seen as lame media critic LARPers. The desire one might have to become a pick-me is...
Ooh, you have a lolcow thread? I'll have to look it up. But I used to use the Kiwi Farms. I've only seen my thread once, and it was off stream. Yeah, I would say that as a rule, you should never, in general, you should not necessarily go read your thread. I don't think you should read your thread, right?
At this point, rule in general, why the fuck would you look yourself up on Kiwi Farms, period?
True. But even then, like, definitely don't bring it up to
react to it.
or react to it. It's your audience. Oh, it's not my thread per se. Who follow or use to follow Synthetic Man. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah. Don't bring it up on screen and start reading it, and don't make a big deal about it, especially if you're docs information.
He got used to follow Synthetic Man.
He still follows Synthetic Man. He's actually pretty positive on Synthetic Man.
Oh no. No.
So he makes I have to look at some of the videos he's talking about, but he tries to make some good points for Synthetic Man. I met some pretty cool people on Kiwi Farms. I have no problem with Kiwi Farm. Well, I do have a problem with Kiwi Farms, but the locale stuff is.
Hold on, let me read that. Let me read that.
Okay.
The background NPC is pretty bad.
You want to read that on screen text? Oh. The background NPC.
You read it because I'm a slow reader. Really.
The background NPC is a pretty bad one as well, but who mostly owes any success to Asmongold, who initially platformed one of her videos and signed her he signed her to her talent group. Wow, his talent group. Her videos are the same generic slop of echoing a right-wing male audience own opinions they already have back to them instead of actually educating anyone on anything. But she made sure to pick me hard for Asmongold to gain a following. Also, sorry to burst your bubble, Asmon crew. She's married.
You know what else is funny? It's like, again, I swear to God, they take on pretty much any fucking retards for their Asmon's little like mythic talent group.
Yeah.
It's signed on Kershi. They signed on Legal Mindset, which, mind you, I think Kershi and Legal Mindset aren't even part of their group anymore.
It wouldn't surprise me. Legal Mindset's a complete retard, and we all know about.
Remo was part of Mythic. There's a bunch of them that are part of Mythic, but when you actually look at who they sign on pretty much any random Joe with any semblance of a following, regardless of whether they're actually smart or not fucking liars.
Yeah.
But then again, Asmongold is like a whole different can of worms. Like, the guy's completely gone off the deep end.
Nice. Kershaw got kicked from him?
I
would like to see that. Holy shit, that's funny.
That's what Bint reported. That's what Bint reported, but sometimes Bint is wrong on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, last I remember, I think that's what it was also said. She got kicked.
That's funny. And now she's with what are they called? Craig and his boys, his people.
Oh no, but here's the thing. Kershi was with Craig even when she was with Miffy. She was going on side scrollers left and right with her. And it's same with Rev. Like, Rev again is now like very in bed with Craig.
Mm-hmm.
But I swear to God, and personally, the reason why I think they're doing that is because Rev wants a viewer injection from Craig to some extent, and vice versa for Craig. But they already share like an audience. Their audience already intertwines, so they're not gaining anything from this.
Yeah.
The only one that's really like gaining something out of this is Straub, because most of Straub's previous audience has all but dropped her. They don't want to fuck with her anymore.
Yeah.
So my guess is the reason why Rev is doing this, at least, is so that his wife can get a little bit of a boost from Craig.
Yeah.
Which I highly doubt that Craig's followers really give a shit about ASMR fucking VTubers. Like, I highly doubt it.
Yeah, it's a pretty niche market, right?
Well, especially even more so for Christian ASMR.
Yeah.
Like, already, like, girlfriend ASMR is extremely niche, but Christian Bible reading ASMR?
Right. It's like Melanie Mack, the person known for just getting kicked for saying the F slur, suddenly doing a Bible channel. It's already super niche, and then you add in the person who's doing it. Whisper.
Yeah, sounds about right, Jack. This cringe Bible verse about how trans people don't deserve to be misgendered, and how Nyara is the devil.
We're almost done with the video.
Honestly, really fascinating to me, because given how all these people tend to end up, it's very obvious it doesn't actually pay off, but so many people still go for it anyway. It's a very funny thing overall, and thankfully me doing the kinds of videos I do has helped a lot more people understand why these kinds of people aren't really real critics whatsoever. Like I said before, Melanie Mack has straight up left the platform, and people like Geeks and Gamers, Clownfish TV, and plenty of others are seeing diminishing viewership as well. Thanks to me doing the kinds of videos I do, a lot of people are more turned on to the grift in general. So thanks everybody for supporting these videos. I'm happy to keep hunting griffly bears. The next videos I have planned are ranking all the Nickelodeon movies as I've talked about before, and also talking about Disney's deal with OpenAI, since that's a very controversial thing right now. Hoping I'll see ya for those two topics then. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like and also consider subscribing as well. I do lots of videos like this in general, so if you like this video, you'll probably like the other videos I have planned as well. You can follow me on all my social medias as well by checking out my links in the description. And you can check out
Awesome.
my letterbox to see my written film reviews. If you'd like to communicate with like-minded film and animation fans, you can also join my Discord, which is linked in the description below. Special thanks to my patrons and YouTube members who are listed here on the screen. I appreciate y'all a ton for pitching in with the extra monetary effort to keep me doing what I do here. And I appreciate you for coming to the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it or learned something new from it. But for now, I've been OtterlyNoah, and I'll see you on the Otter side. Bye!
Awesome. And that was OtterlyNoah. Definitely go give him a like on the video and a subscribe. Watch that video on your own where we're not pausing it constantly. I've got it down in the description, so you can look him up. Good video, Noah. I like it. Even when we had disagreements, Otter side clever and funny. How do you feel about EFAP? I liked them better when they mostly did drama stuff. And even then, I wasn't really watching them. The movie takes are just, I don't want to say bad. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of the same that we always talk about. EFAP talks over each other too much. That I agree with, too. And some of the people they bring onto EFAP, like I remember watching one. I don't remember what the movie was, but I remember they brought on Critical Drinker, right? And I'm listening, and like Critical Drinker is silent the whole time. And it's because he's waiting for something.
So basically, he was doing an Endymion.
Yeah, he was waiting for an opinion that he could latch on to. EFAP takes way too long to say anything. That's true, too. And I'm not
11 hours, dude. They stream like for 11 hours straight. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is going to watch that?
I mean, they have still a pretty decently sized audience that goes through.
I mean, then I think the only reason why they really have like a decently sized audience is mostly because of Mahler when you really think about it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Who the fuck watches Rags anymore? Like, who the fuck watches Rags?
I know, I don't know Rags, right? I've never really talked to him, but I know a lot of places that I watch drama stuff, Rags shows up around. I don't mind Rags.
I am somewhat familiar with Rags, to some extent, but I stopped watching him when he started going after like I Hate Everything, because simply for liking the sequel, one of the sequel movies for the sequel trilogy of the Star Wars, and he was basically saying, "Oh, it's subjective, like Star Wars." Episode, I think it was episode
Rags is cringe as hell.
Is objectively bad, and he was basically harping on I Hate Everything
Well, that objectively bad thing is what comes from Mahler's ideology that you can just flat out say a game is.
It's like I remember watching that and didn't like. I didn't like how he went after I Hate Everything, and Trope actually made a good video on that.
Oh yeah, well you have to add that one in too because we can take a look at it. Prequel trilogy is peak along with Clone Wars. So Clone Wars I actually really like. Me and my daughter watched all of Clone Wars and she fell in love with Star Wars that way. She's bigger into Jurassic Park though. Fun enough.
I mean, Jazz, can I be honest with you? I haven't watched like Clone Wars. We got to sit down at some point one day and just watch it together.
That's a good series. I'm kind of a Filoni fan.
But to say that the prequel trilogies was peak. I mean, we have a sequel trilogy to compare it to now, sure. So I guess you can kind of make that argument. But this prequel trilogy was pretty bad.
Clone Wars is the best Star Wars media, in my opinion. I can agree with that, though my favorite scene in Star Wars, Ahsoka is the best girl. I like Ahsoka's story lead up. I don't know about Anakin being hot. That's subjective, I think. My favorite scene in all of Star Wars is during...
Don't mind her. Don't mind her. She tends to first. She tends to first a lot.
Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. Is the final fight between Obi-Wan and Maul in Rebels. I think that's what it's called, Rebels. That was, to me, the best saber battle that has ever happened in Star Wars. Like, up to the point of, Vader versus Obi-Wan, at the end. Not prequels, the pure ones. You haven't seen Rebels for a while now after the Clone Wars. It's worth a rewatch. I definitely enjoyed it from that part, and with my daughter falling in love with Ahsoka and the little girl from the Bad Batch, we watched a lot of that stuff. But anyway, I'm going to sit here and talk all night, and I got things to do this weekend, and I'm old and I'm tired. Thank you, OtterlyNoah. The video is great. Thank you, Simon, for coming on.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm actually going to dip now. Let you wrap it up on your part.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, take care, dude. See ya.
So I haven't shilled this whole stream, so we got to do a little shill here. If you like the stream, give me a like, give me a subscribe here at the end, and follow me on all the other channels. I do these videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, Egad, we'll definitely have you on stream. We will definitely have you on stream. I've been thinking about that. I was thinking about that the other day. And pretty much anybody, like OtterlyNoah, any of you guys, I like people bringing people on stream, whether I agree with them, whether I disagree with them. Support the funny pig man. Thank you, Jasmine. But yes, check out my videos. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, so I will be back tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see y'all next time.